weather from 3 News.
Live from the AM1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM1310 WDPN.
They've been down by as many as 21. Mitchell has an extra jump here in the second half. Hey! Knocks it down.
Larson saves it in the collateral. For the coming Hawkeyes who hammered it.
0-2 from Webb. Bouncer headed up the middle, and that's going to get through and drive in a couple of runs. 3-0 New York.
Underneath, throw it down, Bronny. The crowd loves it.
Back cut there and up and boom.
Landale gets out of there, whips it to McCollum. CJ, he hits it at the buzzer.
Big 1-foot shot.
In Detroit, you got to hit some shots like this.
Yeah, clutch shot at the very end.
Oh, how about our guy C.J. McCollum filling it up last night for the Atlanta Hawks? I mean, I know we're Cavs fans and all, but got to get a little love to C.J. And how about the Atlanta Hawks, man? They were like an afterthought. And they have been playing some incredible basketball here lately. And C.J. McCollum has been a reason why. Welcome in, everybody. This is the Sam Bourquin Show right here on AM 1310 WDPN. Happy opening day, everybody. What do you mean happy opening day? Yesterday was – no. Yesterday was not opening day. Today is opening day. The Guardians are in action tonight against the Seattle Mariners. 10-10 first pitch. Tanner Bybee on the mound for Cleveland. They'll battle the Mariners at T-Mobile Park. 10-10. Season opener for Voter and the Guards. Plus, there's a ton of other baseball games going on today. We'll run down the scoreboard for you throughout the afternoon. It's a special day. Opening day is a special day. I mean, I know the Giants and the Yankees played last night on Netflix, blah, blah, blah. Today is the real opening day. And we'll keep you posted. Lots of games going on. Pirates and the Mets going on today. White Sox, Brewers, Cubs, Nationals, Orioles, Twins, Red Sox, Reds. Those are all afternoon games. Angels, Astros, Padres, Tigers, Rangers, Phillies, Rays, Cardinals. Those are all afternoon games today. And there's a couple night ones. Of course, the Dodgers and Diamondbacks. I believe that's on NBC Peacock tonight. And then you got the Guardians and Mariners at 10-10. So most of the games today are already underway. And we'll get you some scores, and we'll take a look. We'll let you know how Paul Skeens did in his opener with the Pirates today. Not good. We'll check in on some of our foes in the division, and we'll celebrate. It's opening day. Only comes around once a year. I kind of wish the Guards were playing this afternoon or maybe, 7 o'clock tonight or something. But when you're out on the West Coast, you gotta roll with the time zone. So that's what's going on there. But happy opening day, everybody. Welcome into the show. 330-821-1310, 330-821-1310. You can watch and listen, as you do, on the AM 1310 WDPN Facebook page, our X page, and, of course, the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. And we got the chat open today. Get your comments in. We got the 3-question Thursday quiz we're going to unveil here in a couple of minutes. Pretty heavily baseball-themed 3-question Thursday today. 2 out of 3 have to do with baseball. 1 has to do with the Browns. So we'll get you that. We'll recap the Miami Heat and the Cleveland Cavaliers last night. Well, that was a bunch of yuck. I did not have a good feeling about that game yesterday. I just didn't. Second of a back-to-back at home. You just let the Orlando Magic score 131 on you the night before. The Miami Heat are coming in, trying to wiggle and waggle with postseason hopes. And the Cavs just they look dead tired. They look disinterested, and still almost won the game. Still almost won the game. They outscored Miami 37-20 in the third quarter last night to get right back in that thing and then just flushed it in the fourth quarter. We'll hear from Coach Kenny Atkinson coming up here this afternoon. Cavs need a day off, and they've got one coming up. But they didn't look good last night. I just something told me even before the game that last night was not going to be good, and it wasn't. So, yeah, I don't know. Do they miss Jaron Allen that much? Do they miss Jared Allen that much? I mean, you got to figure out ways to make up for losses, for injuries, for guys that aren't able to play. But I mean, something has to give here a little bit. And I know Jarrett's a big part of this team, and he'll score for you and he'll get you rebounds, but you gotta figure that out. You gotta figure that out. I'm not sure what's going on there. But with that being said, guys are still, they're pretty locked in that 4 spot. So I think we're going to be okay. 46-28. Miami now 39-34. They're fighting scratch and claw, and they don't want to be in that play-in. So they're kind of fighting with Philly. You got Miami, and you're kind of fighting with Charlotte, and you're fighting with Orlando. Those 4 to get the last couple spots in the postseason. But not going to spend a ton of time on the Cavs today. We will hear from Kenny coming up here in a little bit. But I think it's best to, okay, last night happened, and let's move on. I think that's the best medicine for this Cavaliers team right now. Speaking of Major League Baseball in the scoreboard today, as I mentioned, a ton of afternoon games with MLB opening day. And boy, there was a couple of surprises today. Right off the get-go. And the biggest surprise today was in Flushing, New York, with the Pirates and the Mets. Paul Skeens took the mound today in New York. He could not get out of the first inning. Couldn't get out of the first inning. The Mets scored 5 in the bottom of the first. They're now on the top of the 6th. Mets lead the Pirates by the score of 6-4. But Paul Skeens was the starting pitcher today. 2/3 of an inning. 4 hits, 5 runs, all earned. He only struck out 1 and walked 2.
Hall of Fame City checked in on YouTube to say 67.50 ERA for Skeens.
I love the early stats because everything gets ballooned up like that. But yeah, the big man did not have a good start today. Let's see here. What did some of the Mets do that we would? Frankie Lindor scored a couple of runs today. Juan Soto 1 for 2. Bo Bichette, he would just come over from the Blue Jays, 0 for 2 today. Polanco 1 for 2. Luis Robert over from the White Sox, 1 for 2 today. But Paul Skeens did not have a good outing.
Tim checking in on Facebook says Tyler O'Neill just homered for the 6th straight year on opening day.
Wow.
That's cool.
Got to be a record, I would think. Who hits home runs on opening day that many years in a row? It's got to be a record. Got to be. Brewers lead the White Sox 4-1, bottom of the 3rd. Cubbies and Nationals are tied 2-2 in the 4th. Twins and Orioles are just underway. And then coming up here in about 45 minutes or so, Reds and Red Sox, they always do it up opening day down in Cincinnati. That's kind of a bucket list thing for me, just to do an opening day in Cincy, because they get it. They understand it. They do it right. 4 o'clock today, Tigers and Padres. Are we going to scoreboard watch today already with the Tigers? Yeah, might as well. Scooble on the mound today for Detroit. Come on, Padres. Angels, Astros at 4. Rays, Cardinals at 4:15. Phillies, Rangers at 4:15. And, of course, the Guardians are going to play tonight. Dodgers Diamondbacks 8:30 tonight. Zach Gallen and Yoshi Yamamoto on the hill tonight for the Dodgers. You know, last night, just for fun and for sadness, I looked at the Dodgers lineup that they plan on running out there every night. Oh my God. They are probably going to win the World Series again for the third year in a row. Like, there is not a weak spot in that lineup until the number 9 hitter. I kid you not. It's like not even funny. Like, it's funny, but it's not funny. They're loaded. Then they went out and they got Tucker. They got Kyle Tucker, free agent acquisition. They got the reliever from the New York Mets, the guy that comes in with Timmy Trumpet. That guy. Number 1 closer in baseball. They brought him in. They are absolutely loaded from top to bottom. Like, they can run a lineup out there, and like the first 8 guys, I'm not kidding, could probably all hit over 300 and mash and score runs. And I mean, it's unbelievable. Will Smith, Mookie Betts, Tommy Edman, Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, Andy Pajes, Kyle Tucker, not available. Oh, I forgot. Shohei Ohtani. Yeah.
Little-known baseballer.
Little-known guy that's like really, really good. Oh, and he can also pitch every 4 or 5 days and throw the ball 107 miles. I mean, yeah. So that it's insane. Hey, look, the Dodgers are probably the funnest team to watch in baseball, but at the same time, so frustrating because of the non-salary cap, and they can just buy their way out of every problem that they have. It's crazy. And I know this at the end of this year, when the World Series comes to an end and they start talking about that lockout, it's going to happen. I saw a report yesterday that both sides have never been as far apart for an agreement as they are now. Like, they're not even, pardon the pun, they're not even in the same ballpark right now. So, yeah, if I had to make a bet right now, I would say there will be no opening day for baseball next year. If I was a betting man. And that's a shame. I mean, there could be some miraculous come to whatever moment and both sides can figure it out. But unless there is a salary cap in Major League Baseball, and the players aren't going to go for it. So that's where we are. That's where we are. But enjoy the heck out of this year, because it might be a while before we start playing baseball again after the end of this coming World Series. All right, let's get you to our by the way, we're going to be talking a little Buckeye basketball today and some Big Ten play and some NCAA March Madness with Adam Jardy from the Columbus Dispatch. Adam will be joining us at 4:35 today. Almost forgot about that, which will be pretty good timing. We can wrap up the Buckeyes, look ahead to the recruiting class, who's going to stay, who's going to go, and we could talk about the dominance of the Big Ten and how well they're doing and where the Buckeyes fall there, and will there be a coaching change? Will there be some additional NIL funds made available to beef the roster up? We'll talk to Adam about that coming up a little bit after 4:30 today. Okay, it's quiz time. 3-question Thursday here on the Sam Bourquin Show. Question number 1, what's your favorite opening day baseball memory? What's your favorite MLB opening day memory? I always love to hear these at this time of year. And the stories get bigger and better every year. I can't wait to see these. So get them in. Get them in on the text, 330-924-7088, or the Q92 Radio YouTube chat. Number 1, what's your favorite MLB opening day memory? Question number 2, will the Guardians make the playoffs this year? Will the Guards make the postseason? Yes or no? I was going to ask the question total wins, but I wanted to go in this direction today. How will they make the playoffs this year? And question number 3. Would you trade Myles Garrett right now for 2 first-round draft picks and a frontline player? Would you trade Myles right now for 2 first-round picks and a starter? That's today's 3-question Thursday quiz. You can call 330-821-1310 or get your comments to us on all of our social media platforms. Facebook, X, YouTube. Question 1, your favorite opening day baseball memory. Question 2, will the Guardians make the playoffs this year? Question 3, would you trade Myles Garrett right now for 2 first-round picks and a starting player? All right, we're just getting cranked up. We got a lot of stuff to get to today. We've got Sammy's Best Bet, 429, 529 on this day in sports history. We will tell you about a little something going on over at the Hall of Fame Village. Some things that you see there now may not be there in the very near future. We'll talk a little Cavs as well, and we'll get you ready for the Sweet 16. All that and more coming up. 1310 WDPN.
AWP Safety, North America's leading traffic safety company, wishes the best of luck to Stark County student athletes this fall, and they need you. Join AWP as a protector for steady work and an important job keeping people safe. They offer paid training, certification, referral bonuses, and advancement opportunities. To apply, visit jobs.awpsafety.com. That's jobs.awpsafety.com.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
Kids across America are going to school hungry. Millions of kids every day. Hungry kids get sick more often and can struggle in school. It can be harder for them to focus and learn. But one simple thing can help change all of this for a hungry child in America. Good, healthy food and the energy it brings. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures.
We want to ensure that all of our kids have healthy meals every day.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping feed our kids.
To learn more about ending child hunger in America, go to helpnokidhungry.org today.
All right, we're going to do a lot of baseball-themed music today. Actually, that is going to be the theme for today. It is opening day, Major League Baseball opening day for the Cleveland Guardians, and we welcome you back into the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN, and streaming live on all of our social media platforms where you can watch and listen to the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. Phone lines open, 330-821-1310. Text line open, too. You can use it just like our guy Buck, 330-924-7088. The Q92 Radio YouTube chat is up and rolling on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel as well. Got the 3-question Thursday quiz rolling today. Get those comments in. They're filling up nice. Appreciate that. Question number 1, what's your favorite opening day baseball memory? Question number 2, will the Guardians make the playoffs this year? Question number 3, would you trade Myles Garrett right now for 2 first-round picks and a frontline starter? Would you do that right now? That's our 3-question Thursday quiz. News and weather coming up here at the bottom of the hour, and you'll want to pay attention to the weather forecast today and tonight. I'm no meteorologist, but I've been seeing some stuff, and it looks like it could get rather violent this afternoon, later tonight, and into the overnight hours. As a matter of fact, it looks like they're kind of pushing things back here a little bit. The craziness looks like it's not going to go until about 8:30. Maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock tonight, and then we're going to be in for it probably until like 4 or 5 in the morning. Thunderstorms, possible wind gusts of up to 70 miles an hour, hail, lightning, the whole 9 yards. So make sure you got us tuned in here for the day and night. We'll get you that official forecast from our guy, Mark Johnson, here on 1310. All right, speaking of that, we got the news and the weather coming up. And when we get back, we'll dive into things here on the 3-Question Thursday edition of the Sam Bourquin Show. Rolling on from the Carnation City of Alliance, Ohio, and all over the world. 1310 WDPN.
The latest news and the current Alliance area weather forecast are up next on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 3:30. Pressure is mounting on Congress to end the funding shutdown. It's resulted in travel disruptions, missed paychecks, and even warnings of airport closures. But lawmakers have yet to resolve the underlying issue of reining in President Trump's immigration enforcement operations. Senators were expected to vote today on a Republican proposal that would fund the Transportation Security Administration and much of the Department of Homeland Security, except immigration enforcement and removal operations. But it was expected to fail. Democrats argue the GOP plan falls short in putting guardrails on federal officers engaged in immigration sweeps. Congress is set to leave town by week's end for recess as calls intensify for an end to the 41-day stalemate. A month into the war with Iran, sources say the U.S. and Iran have been trading messages through Pakistan, despite denials from inside Tehran. ABC's Rachel Scott has more from Washington.
Even this morning, the president is insisting that Iran is begging the United States to make a deal, saying that if they do not get serious soon, it won't be pretty. But Iran says they are not interested in negotiating with the U.S.
Meanwhile, Israel says they have killed the head of the Iranian Navy. In the Gulf, 2 people were killed in the UAE after an Iranian attack. Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait were also attacked overnight. The Iran war has deflected global attention from Russia's all-out invasion of its neighbor Ukraine as Europe's biggest conflict since World War II enters its 5th year and an emboldened Kremlin undertakes a spring offensive. The past week showed that neither side is easing up. Russia on Tuesday fired almost 1,000 drones and 34 missiles at Ukraine in one of the war's biggest bombardments. The following day, Ukraine launched almost 400 drones in the largest reported overnight attack on Russian regions and Crimea. Ukraine's fate is still Europe's top foreign policy issue, fueled by fears that Moscow has wider ambitions. Where Americans are moving and not moving is shifting again. New data shows slower growth in many parts of the country. ABC's Dave Packer reports.
New numbers from the U.S. Census Bureau show population growth slowed across most metro areas in the past year, largely due to fewer immigrants arriving. Border regions were hit especially hard. In Florida, powerful storms forced thousands to leave communities along the Gulf Coast. But some areas still booming. Cities like Houston and Dallas remain top growth leaders, along with fast-growing areas in the Southeast. With fewer births nationwide, demographers say migration is now the key factor deciding which communities grow, which ones shrink. Dave Packer, ABC News.
It's 72 degrees in Alliance at 3:32. This is WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Now, the Alliance area weather forecast from Mark Johnson on AM 1310 WDPN.
All right, keep an eye to the sky for your Thursday afternoon. I would say closer to the end of the rush hour, we'll see some strong to severe storms moving in. Some with damaging winds, large hail, heavy rain. Highs today, 71 degrees. Overnight tonight, rain showers before midnight, maybe some thunder, maybe some heavy rain, and then cooling down to a low at 37. I am Art J. Weather from 3 News.
I've never had to worry about my. Oh, never mind. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show, AM 1310 WDPN. Sometimes you got to be careful when that mic's on. I almost said something there. Phone lines are open 330-821-1310, 330-821-1310.
It's the nature of the microphone, Sam.
Text line is 330-924-7088. You can watch and listen on all of our social media platforms. Literally, you could just flip it on and you can watch and listen to the show. On Facebook, X, that's WDPN, the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. Got the chat open. Tim Umpleby, good to see you in today, buddy. Who else rolled in here today? Patrick Connor, thanks for watching and listening, Patrick. Hope you're doing well. 3-question Thursday quiz. It's opening day. The Cavaliers looked awful against the Heat last night. College basketball back tonight with the Sweet 16. We got 4 games tonight. We got 4 games on Friday, and then 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday. And boom, we will know who is going to the Final Four. Crazy. Then over the next couple of days, we're going to know who's in the Final Four. Just like that. We went from 68 to, then we'll be at the 4 here by the end of Sunday. These are good games, too. These are good games. These are great games. These games right now are like the first 2 days are great because it's the quantity of games. But when you start talking Sweet 16, Elite 8, and then, you know, once you get to that game that gets you to the Final Four, like all the pressure gets turned up. Like every possession is crazy. And that's what makes it so much fun. All right, so the Guardians are going to open up season action tonight against Seattle. 10-10 the first pitch. Tanner Bybee on the mound tonight for Cleveland. Gilbert is the starting pitcher this evening for the Mariners. And I think I meant to do this, and doggone it, I got sidetracked. We had a meeting today for some stuff coming down the pike here at the old radio ranch, and I got behind, I got sidetracked, and I just didn't do it. But I meant to go back to the last I meant to go back to like the last 20 years of opening games. And I wanted to see what Cleveland's record was in the opener. Just the opener. Doesn't have to be a home, away, just the first game of the year. I wanted to go back and see what their record was. Because, you know, I started thinking about the Sammy B's best bet tonight. I thought, man, maybe we could work the Guardians in there. And I looked at the spot. I looked at the run. I looked at the over-under. And I said, we'll probably pass on that. But I just kind of wanted to know what the trends have been for the Indians/Guardians for the last 20 years on opening day. Because remember when you were a kid and then you got a little bit older, but you're, you know, we're all kids at heart when it has to do with our sports teams. Some of us grow out of it quicker than others. But I remember as a kid, opening day was everything. Like I was the kid that if my team lost their opening game, season's over. We're done. I went in the corner and I sat back. That was me. Oh, if you lost opening day, the hell with the rest of the season. I was out. Because you look forward to that opening day so much. You want to win that first game so badly. It's a new year, right? Hope springs eternal. And gosh, if the Indians would have lost, and of course they lost a ton of them when I was growing up. But if they lost their first game of the year, I was just like, it took me a week to recover. Now imagine being like that now, which I'm not. But you do, I don't know. It's just kind of cool to win the first game. You know what I mean?
You gave me enough time to look up their opening day win-loss record.
Ooh.
They have .700 for their opening day win-losses at 65 wins and 60 losses. I also found the entire chart of every single win-loss opening day starting on 4/29/1901 versus the Milwaukee Brewers. So what do you want to know?
We're a little over 500.
Yeah, according to this, 65 wins and 60 losses puts it at a .700 percentage. But that feels wrong.
That sounds wrong.
Yeah.
So let's say there's been 130 openers. We've won 60. 60 out of 120 would be 50%.
Right.
So, yeah, that's 7. That doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. That's AI. I'll give you that.
Yeah, well,
that's
okay.
why I looked up the whole chart. I just didn't have
go.
enough time to count every single one.
AI. AI. Oh, but
AI
you have
is
to embrace AI.
Good at facts, bad at math.
Yeah, no, I don't have to.
They're not good at facts either, actually.
But I was when I grew up, boy, if the Indians lost the first game of the year, I was throwing a temper tantrum, crying, throwing things. And now, if they lose, hell, you know what? As much of a night owl as I am, I will probably be asleep before this game's over tonight. Probably. I say that now, but I might get a little second wind, maybe like in the 7th inning and hang in. Now watch, it'll go extra innings, and I'll turn it off. But it's always nice to win your opener. You don't want to start the year with a loss. And again, when you're playing 162, now they all count. Don't get me wrong. They all count because there have been years when a team or teams has won their division by one game. So it does matter, but it should not ruin your whole year if you lose your opener. I could take them losing an opener on the road. I really hated it when they would lose their opener at home. Does that make a little bit more sense? Because it's your crowd, it's the city's big day, you're on the big stage, and you just want to shine, and you want to look good, you want to do well, and you want to win, and you want everybody that showed up that day, you want them to be happy so they come back. So if they lose in Seattle tonight, okay, but I really don't like to lose the home opener. I still get pretty moody as far as that's concerned. Not thrilled that they're opening up on the West Coast. It seems we've done that the last couple of years, but there's two sides to that. A, you're going to get the games in, okay? You're not worried about getting them rained out, snowed out. Like, even if there's an issue in Seattle, you're still covered, okay? So you're going to be able to play. And then we're going to head south and go down to L.A. to play the Dodgers. You know what they say, it never rains in Southern California. So we're going to be fine there. So we're going to get all our games in that are scheduled. And then you come back east, and then sometimes things get a little goofy. But your favorite opening day memories, that's all part of our 3-question Thursday quiz. What's your favorite opening day memory? Question number 2. Will the Guardians make the playoffs this year? That's a tough one. That's why I put it on the quiz today. Normally, I'd say, yeah, shoe in. Easy. No problem. They'll fight it. They'll get it. They'll do it. I don't know. I don't know about this year. I'm hopeful, but I want to know what you think. Question number 3, Browns fans. Would you trade Myles Garrett today for 2 first-round draft picks and a frontline starter? That's our 3-question Thursday quiz. Get them in, call in, text them in. We'll be here until 6 o'clock tonight. I usually try to answer the quiz myself as soon as I post it or as soon as I jot them down before I put them out on social media. And number 1 was easy for me. The opening day memory, I'll tell you about mine. Will the Guardians make the playoffs this year? I had to wrestle with that one. I had to wrestle with it. I did come up with my answer. I'll share it. And, of course, number 3, you probably already know the answer to this.
That's a really big yes for you.
And I would trade Myles Garrett for 2 number 1 picks, 2 first-round picks, and a frontline starter. I would do that yesterday. But that's kind of what I come up with there. Let's check some of your responses. Kim says, my favorite opening day memory when it snowed and we dressed like hunters and they ran out of hot chocolate. Boo. Tim says, not a specific memory. I just love that baseball starts. I would say the Guardians are my favorite team, but in actuality, I love watching everybody play. I love to watch baseball games no matter what. He says he has the Guardians making the wild card round. Luck and health is absolutely the key. He says, I would need 3 number ones and a 2 and a player if I was going to trade Myles Garrett. I don't think you're going to get that, Tim. Don't think you're going to get that. Remember, Myles is about to turn 30. I'm not saying he's old, but I don't think you're going to get that much for him. You're not going to get that package, I can tell you that. Jim V, check it in. Opening day at the Jake, his favorite memory. Will the Guardians make the playoffs? No. Would he trade Myles Garrett? Yes. But they need a lot more than one superstar to go with those draft picks. That might be too much. Marcus Walsh. Marcus, hope you're well. He says, my favorite memory, 2007. My dad, brother, and I thought about going. Glad we stayed home. Second wild card spot this year, losing to Seattle in the ALDS. They'll get about 88 to 90 wins. Do not trade Myles if you are the Browns.
Got Doug on YouTube says his most memorable was living in Columbus in the mid-2000s, heading up to the game during a blizzard and making snowmen on top of the dugouts. Says yes.
Typical
guards,
Cleveland weather.
Absolutely. He says yes, the Guards will make the playoffs, and absolutely will trade Myles Garrett for those options.
Yes, definitely. Mike, check it in. First game at the new park in '94, his favorite memory. 2, the Guardians will probably not this year, but wouldn't be surprised if they did. And yes, he would trade Myles Garrett right now for 2 first-round picks and a frontline player. Kirk Johnson, check it in. His favorite opening day memory, 1985, I believe. Yes, this was 85. The Chicago Cubs, Rick Sutcliffe was the starter against the Pirates, won 2-1, met Ernie Banks. He signed his program. How about that for an opening day? Will the Guardians make the playoffs? Yes, they will, with 88 wins. And then he says the Browns organization cannot afford any more public dissatisfaction. Myles stays. Okay, I see what he's getting at there. How about this? David Justice. Not the real David Justice, but David Justice. Snow globe game in 2007. Sitting in the view boxes behind home plate. We couldn't see the terminal tower. It was snowing so bad. Two-way race between Cleveland and Detroit. You'll have to win the division because I can't see a wild card coming out of the Central. That's a great point, David. Trade Garrett if overwhelmed, at least 2 1s and 2 2s. Holy smokes.
Buck texted in to answer. He says, any home opener memory when Dolan was not the owner of the team. Says he doesn't think the Guardians are going to make the playoffs, and he thinks you should absolutely trade Myles Garrett.
Mike, check it in. 1994 opening day at the Jake. Will the Guardians make it? No. We got lucky last year. Question 3, yes, trade Garrett. Best years are behind him. Let me get a couple more here. Ron Bagley says, 38 degrees on opening day around 20 years ago against the White Sox. I left in the 4th inning. Frozen. Yes, the Guardians will make the playoffs. Yes, trade Myles. Glenn Grooms checking in today. Says, my favorite opening day memory was the snow game. He doesn't think the Guardians will make the playoffs. No, he would not trade Myles Garrett. Let's do one more here. Tim Bracken checking in today. First game of the Jake, 94. People forget that Randy Johnson had a no-hitter going into the 8th inning. Oh, boy, did he. Guardians come back and won that thing, though. Will the Guards make the playoffs? No. Would he trade Myles Garrett right now for 2 number 1 picks and a frontline player? And the answer there was yes. So some good feedback coming in today. Get those comments in. Get them all in. 1310 WDPN on X, on Facebook, and, of course, the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. You can drop your answers on the Sam Bourquin Show page on Facebook as well. It's crazy, but I read about, I don't know, what, 8 to 10 right there. And half of them, their favorite opening day memory was this snow game. We've had a couple of those. Not only have we had a couple of snow games, we've had a couple of cancellations and had to come back the following day or the day after that to get the games in because the weather was so bad. And this is when we were in April. Remember, we didn't used to play games in March in MLB to open the year. Not until a little while ago anyway. But we did have some crazy snowstorms in April. Here in Northeast Ohio. I remember watching games on TV, like you literally couldn't see where the ball was. Like the guy would wind up and throw the ball to home. You couldn't see the ball. It was snowing so hard. Guys are wrapped up in toboggan gear, winter gloves covering their faces. I mean, baseball should never be played in that kind of crap, to be honest with you. But you get it every year. At least the first 2 weeks every year, somebody is going to have it could happen in Colorado, it could happen in Cleveland, Chicago, Detroit. You never know. You never know. Boston. You got to be ready for the elements. You just never know. Minnesota, now that they're playing outdoors. Mets lead the Pirates, by the way, 11-5 in the top of the seventh. If you missed it, Paul Skeens for the Pirates today didn't get out of the first inning. Gave up 5 runs. Bottom of the fifth, Brewers lead the White Sox 6-1. Top of the fifth, the Nationals over the Cubbies 7-3. Top of the third, no score between the Twins and the Orioles. And the Red Sox and Reds going to get underway in Cincinnati here in about 20 minutes from now. We'll step out. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more of the Sam Bourquin Show on 1310 WDPN.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
Of all the ways to get ahead in life, we're one of them, and we're legal. The John Tesh Radio Show.
I'm John Tesh, and we couldn't be happier about bringing you intelligence for your life every day. We have a room full of researchers gathering the information and ideas you need to make your life simpler and better, and to make you the smartest person in the room.
You're just trying to be better. We're just trying to help. The John Tesh Radio Show.
Join me for music and intelligence for your life, 10 to 3, Monday through Saturday, only on AM 1310 WDPN.
It's intelligence for your life.
I'm Angela Bassett. As a first responder on screen, I know what it means to act fast in an emergency. In real life, the same urgency can save lives, especially when it comes to a food allergy. For 33 million Americans, one bite can turn an ordinary meal into a life-threatening reaction. And too often, they don't have the one thing that could save them: epinephrine. But emergencies don't wait. And when a severe reaction happens, being prepared makes all the difference. Now, there's a needle-free option, a new way to carry epinephrine that makes it easier than ever to be ready. No needles, no hesitation, because when the unexpected happens, the best thing you can do is be ready. Know the risk, know the options, be ready to act. Learn more at foodallergy.org/ready to act.
Come on, Tribe. Come on, Guards. Come on, Wahoos. I used to call them the Wahoo Warriors. We would call them that back in the day. Oh, we can't do that now. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. Guards and the Mariners tonight, 10-10 out at T-Mobile Park. 10-10 we have to wait. You know what, though? The good thing about today is we have plenty of baseball and plenty of basketball to tide us over until 10-10 tonight.
Scooter on YouTube checking in about that. He says the remote is going to get a workout tonight between the Sweet 16 and the Guardians. I might get thumbitis.
I'll tell you, man. Take an Advil now. You'll be fine with that thumb. So we got all the baseball going on this afternoon, late afternoon, and through tonight. The basketball games go at 7:10. Here's the schedule for tonight. 7:10, you've got Purdue and Texas. 7:30, Iowa and Nebraska. 9:45, you've got Arizona and Arkansas. And then 10:05 tonight, you've got Illinois and Houston. So by the time the last Sweet 16 game tips off, the Guardians and the Mariners will just be getting underway out in Seattle. What's the temperature out in Seattle today? Let me guess. I haven't looked yet. But we are talking about Seattle, and we're talking about March. I'm going to guess rain showers and 59.
That sounds about right.
Now I'm gonna look it up officially.
I would have just simply said the word damn for the conditions.
Sunny and 53.
Oh, you're right about the temperature.
How about that? So, but again, they have covering there, so we're good to go. Now, as far as I know, the home field for the Mariners, the ballpark, T-Mobile Park, it's not a dome. They can. I think that one is I think that's a retractable. I think it's retractable. So they'll have it closed tonight for sure. Because if it's 53 now, it'll be in the 40s tonight. So I'm sure they'll have that baby closed tonight. But you don't have to worry about postponements. 10 o'clock first pitch tonight. Tanner Bybee on the mound for the Guards. We should get there. Well, I don't know if they'll give us the lineup by the time we're off the air. I guess the lineup's usually, say for like a 7 o'clock game, we'll get the Guardians starting lineup at around 5:30, 6 o'clock. So we probably won't get their starting lineup tonight. But I can tell you, it's Tanner Bybee against Logan Gilbert. Austin Hedges is day-to-day with a hand injury, so you won't see him. George Valera's on the 10-day DL. You won't see him. Crawford is on the DL for the Mariners. And it looks like they are pretty healthy the rest of the way. But you know who the Mariners got that we don't got? Cal Raleigh. And I'll get our first chance to watch him this year. I wonder how many home runs Cal Raleigh will hit for the Mariners this year. What do you have, 60 last year? Over 60? How many home runs will he have this year? That'll be interesting to keep an eye on that. And I'm interested to see what Tanner Bybee does. You know, a lot was made about Tanner Bybee. And then he got that contract, okay? They extended him out early in his career. Now he's, not filthy rich off of that contract, but, he had some stability and didn't really pitch terrific, like right after he signed that. But then he kind of kind of figured it out and got it together a little bit. But if we're talking about an ace, and I believe he's the guy, he's going to be the ace, then he's got to pitch like one. And a lot of the troubles that Tanner Bybee had a year ago was what? He'd get up 2 strikes on a batter, and he couldn't put him away. Or he would go 0-2, and then on an 0-2 pitch, he'd throw one right down the middle and somebody'd knock it out. Or they'd get a little bleeder up the middle and get on base. Tanner Bybee's got to figure out, and I'm sure he's worked on it. I'm sure Vogt's worked on it with him and, the staff, the pitching coach. When he gets up on guys, he's got to put them away. First of all, the best thing about that approach is you already got 2 quick strikes on a guy. If you put him away on the third, that keeps your pitch count down. You don't want these batters to string you out 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pitches a bat because you'll be cooked by the 5th inning. You'll have nothing left. He's got to figure out a way, without throwing it right down Broadway, get these guys out once you get up 0-2. If you want to do a throwaway pitch, that's fine. But he gave up a lot of 2-run base hits last year. And I think that's one of the keys for him. And that can get him to go deeper into games as well. Keep him around a little bit longer. But that's my main concern with him. And I'll be watching that tonight. Okay, 1 hour in. We've got 2 more big hours to go. It's the Sam Bourquin Show on a 3-question Thursday. Enjoy the sun, everybody. It won't be around much longer. The weather is going to turn. All right? Hang in there with us. We'll get through it. Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN.
The latest news and the current Alliance area weather forecast are up next on AM 1310 WDPN Alliance.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. Democrats have been given Republicans' last and final offer to reopen the Department of Homeland Security and end the 41-day government shutdown, says Senate Majority Leader John Thune. No details released. This message to lawmakers from 2 TSA officers, Darren Kelly and his wife, Oksana, at Orlando International Airport, who haven't been paid in weeks.
My simple thing is, we don't want your pity. We just want our paycheck.
Kelly say they've nearly depleted their savings. Iran's received a 15-point peace plan through a mediator, says the president's special diplomat, Steve Witkoff, at a White House cabinet meeting. The president on Iran.
They are begging to make a deal, not me.
Former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife were back in court in New York City today, at which the judge refused to dismiss their case. Maduros are facing drug trafficking charges. The International Olympic Committee has banned trans women from women's Olympic events. This is ABC News.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com
I'm ready!
and get ready for the workday.
It's tax time, y'all. If you want to file free, this next one's for you.
Now taxes is so free. Terrible tax, free edition only. Roughly 37% of filings qualify. Simple form 1040 returns only. This is tax.
Love that jam. Up next, commercials.
And to get TurboTax free edition, see if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
Now, the latest Alliance area news from Clint Marshall on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 4:02. A Stark County grand jury has indicted Tyrone Card, accused of repeatedly stabbing a woman in Jackson Township and leading police on a high-speed chase. The 43-year-old, who is homeless, remains in the county jail on a $1 million bond. Card is charged with attempted murder, felonious assault, and aggravated robbery, each with a repeat violent offender specification. The incident happened February 17th on Dressler Road Northwest, leaving the victim with life-threatening injuries. Authorities say Card fled, crashing his vehicle in Portage County's Paris Township. A Canton man wanted for a parole violation in a child death case has been arrested in Florida. 44-year-old Anthony Grove was taken into custody on a beach in Volusia County after deputies caught him drinking alcohol Tuesday. Grove was convicted in 2015 in the death of his infant son, who died after being struck by a thrown mug during an argument. He pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter and child endangering and served an 8-year prison sentence. A man has been sentenced for a hit-and-run crash in Canton. 35-year-old Brian Blankenship of Jackson Township received 3 years probation and 20 days in jail. Stark County Common Police Judge Krista Hartnett ordered him to serve 100 hours of community service, pay $27,000 in restitution, and handed him a 6-month license suspension after pleading guilty March 9th to failure to stop after an accident. The sentence stems from a November 4th crash on 9th Street Northwest when Blankenship recklessly drove his pickup, failed to stop at Shorb Avenue, and collided with a woman's vehicle. She suffered serious injuries, and Blankenship fled the scene. Prosecutors dismissed vehicular assault and an additional count of failure to stop. ODOT has released a long list of road projects that will affect drivers across Stark County throughout 2026. The largest project is a $12.8 million resurfacing of Route 30, stretching across Canton, East Canton, and toward the Carroll County line, with ramp closures expected. Multiple projects are planned, including resurfacing of Route 62 in Alliance, Route 21 in Massillon, and Routes 236 and 241 in Canal Fulton, Lawrence Township, and Massillon. Some projects will last into next year, including a major roundabout and a bridge project on Route 241 in Jackson Township. Traffic will be maintained, but drivers can expect detours and periodic closures. Stark County's population is growing, marking a second straight year of gains. New estimates from the Census Bureau show the county added more than 500 residents in 2025, bringing the total to nearly 374,000. Officials cite people moving into the area despite deaths outpacing births. The trend follows a larger increase in 2024 and is part of a broader population rise across Northeast Ohio. Experts point to affordable housing, job opportunities, and community amenities as key factors attracting new residents. However, an aging population could pose challenges for future growth. Perry Township trustees have approved a tax break for a proposed data center and hired outside legal counsel for development issues. The board granted a 75% property tax abatement on Faircrest Street Southwest in exchange for $2.75 million up front and a share of future tax revenue. Residents have expressed concerns about noise, water use, and transparency. Final approval still requires Stark County Commissioners and the City of Canton. Trustees also retained New Albany attorney David Reitenhoff at $300 an hour to handle water service annexation and the joint economic development agreement with Canton. The township plans to sue the city. The Pro Football Hall of Fame and Canton Regional Chamber of Commerce have named leaders for the 2026 Enshrinement Festival. Bill Smith will be general chair, with Mike Galena as vice chair, leading volunteer efforts for the annual summer event. Smith is a Stark County commissioner, while Galena is a vice president at Altman Health System. The festival will honor the class of 2026, including Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald. Authorities are investigating the deadly shooting of an elderly couple in Ravenna Township. The incident occurred Wednesday afternoon at their home on Summit Street. Portage County prosecutor Connie Lewandowski says the investigation is preliminary. No further details are being released. A Columbiana man has admitted to a violent arson case. 66-year-old Frederick Harreth pleaded guilty today in Columbiana County Common Pleas Court to charges including attempted murder, aggravated arson, and felonious assault. A second assault count was dismissed. Police say in June 2025, Harreth beat a woman with a baseball bat and strangled her at a Fairfield Township mobile home, then set it on fire with her inside. He fled, but was later found with severe burns. Harreth is scheduled for sentencing April 24th. The Highway Patrol is investigating a two-vehicle crash near East Liverpool involving a school bus. It happened shortly before 8:30 this morning on State Route 7, north of Beaver Local High School. Troopers say a car collided with a school bus. The car's driver was injured, but no students or staff on the bus were hurt. Route 7 was temporarily closed in both directions between Bell School Road and Middle Beaver Road. The village of Sebring has a new manager. Monday, council approved the hiring of Christopher Frazier, who will earn $72,000 a year to oversee daily operations. His first day will be April 6th. Frazier most recently served as village manager in Delta, Ohio. He will succeed Tim Gabrelsic, who is pursuing other opportunities after 3 years on the job. Council also approved more than $36,000 in water system upgrades, including a new valve at the water plant and a pump panel project at the water tower. Another ordinance sets fees of up to $75 an hour for police body camera video requests. Council also accepted a $630,000 federal grant to boost fire department staffing. It's 71 degrees in Alliance at 4:07. This is the local edition of WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Here's Mark Johnson's forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
cloud sun mix for your Thursday afternoon. Keep an eye out for some late afternoon and evening strong to severe thunderstorms. Our high today, 71 degrees. Overnight rain and thunder through about midnight, and then we'll dry it out. Our low, 37. I am Mark J. Weather from 3 News.
Live from the AM1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, Meatball!
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM1310 WDPN.
They've been down by as many as 21. Mitchell has an extra jump here in the second half. Hey! Knocks it down.
Larson seeds it in the corner. For the coming Hawkeyes who hammered it.
0-2 from Webb. Bouncer headed up the middle, and that's going to get through and drive in a couple of runs. 3-0 New York.
Underneath, throw it down, Bronny. The crowd loves it. Back cut there and up and boom.
Landale gets out of there, whips it to McCollum. CJ, he hits it at the buzzer.
Big 1-foot shot.
In Detroit, you got to hit some shots like this.
Yeah, clutch shot at the very end.
Nice job, CJ McCollum. Go get it, young man. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show, everybody. AM 1310 WDPN. Going to be with you until 6 o'clock tonight. Phone lines are wide open, 330-821-1310. You know the drill. Get those comments in on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. We'll have Rainsburg read a couple of these when we get the opportunity. Don't forget, Guardians opening night tonight against Seattle. 10-10 first pitch. Bybee against Gilbert out in the great Northwest. College basketball tonight. The Sweet 16 gets underway with 4 games. 4 more games tomorrow. What else going on here? We got 4 games tonight, 4 Friday, 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday. Guards will be in action all weekend against Seattle. Get other NBA going, other Major League Baseball going. Spring sports are starting to, get going here a little bit. You know how it is with the weather. You gotta get them in when you can get them in. High school baseball, softball, lacrosse, track, getting rolling. Mount Union baseball. Matter of fact, I'll be calling some Purple Raider baseball games this year for the school. You'll be able to check those games out on Flow Sports TV. So I'm looking forward to that. I think my first doubleheader is going to be this Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. I got to go back here and.
That's not something I'm involved in, right?
No, you're free and clear, man.
Oh, cool, good.
No,
that would be an unfun way to find out.
Yeah, that's just that's over Flow TV for under the OAC umbrella. Yep. My first doubleheader, first game is this weekend. Otterbein, first pitch at 1 p.m. and 3:30. Got a doubleheader. And then Ohio Northern will be in town April 11th. Heidelberg, April the 18th for a doubleheader. Single game against Westminster on the 26th. Single game against Geneva on the 28th. And a doubleheader against the Muskies. Hey, I get to see old coach Doug Miller. As Muskingum will be at an Alliance on April the 29th for a doubleheader at 1 and 3:30. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I want to thank the folks at the University of Mount Union for having me back to do some baseball this spring. Mount's pretty good, too. Pretty good. If they could nail down maybe like a 3rd and 4th starter in their rotation, yeah, because they can swat the ball. This is one of Coach Hesse's, I think this is maybe one of his better offensive teams he's had in a while. They can mash the baseball. So we're looking forward to that. 3-question Thursday quiz today. Great comments coming in all over social media. Question number 1, what's your favorite MLB opening day memory? All-timer, what's your favorite? Municipal Stadium, Jacobs Field, Progressive Field? Was it another stadium, another team? What's your favorite opening day memory? Question number 2, will the Guardians make the playoffs this year? Yay or nay? And question number 3, would you trade Myles Garrett right now for 2 first-round picks and a front-line starter? Would you do that right now? 330-821-1310. Get your comments in on all of our social media platforms. I believe the Guardians will make the playoffs. They will be the last wild card. Again, this is the beginning of March or the end of March. We play baseball until September, so it's a long year. But if I had to answer my own quiz question today, I said they'll make it, but they'll be the last wild card team in.
I think that's a safe bet, almost always.
And then I feel that they would probably get bounced in the first round. That's how I feel today. Talk to me in July, I might feel a little bit different. Should the Browns trade Myles Garrett right now for 2 first-round picks and a frontline starter? Absolutely, positively, yes. Do it now. Do it right this minute. Myles Garrett's value is not going to get any higher. He's going to turn 30. Do it. You're not going anywhere now anyway. Build this sucker from the inside out. Get those high draft picks. Make the most of them, Andrew. Make the most of them and get this thing moving. You can't completely address everything with free agency and trades. You got to pick. You got to draft. You got to get good guys, and that's one way to do it. Now, you can ask for 3 first-rounders. You're not going to get them, but you can ask for them. But I would say the cutoff, I got to have 2, and I got to have a frontline starter. And then maybe even somebody pretty decent if you want to, add that to the package to make it work. But that's our 3-question Thursday quiz. We invite you to get your comments in. We'll read those here on the show like we do each and every day because we absolutely love when all of you interact with us here on the show on 1310 WDPN. We talked about starting pitching, and we talked about Tanner Bybee, and one of the things I'm going to watch tonight, if he gets up on some guys 2 strikes, 0-2, 1-2, can he put them away? And I don't care how he puts them away. I don't care if he strikes them out. I don't care if he gives up a fly ball to the warning track or if he gives a pop up to the midfield to the infielders. Just put them away. Keep his pitch count. Goodness gracious. His pitch counts got so high last year so quickly that I looked at the number of pitches thrown in the 3rd and 4th inning. I was like, my gosh, this guy will never last until the 6th inning. And I know we have kind of changed our thoughts and philosophy on what a quality start is. A quality start used to be 7 innings. Remember those days? Now it's like if somebody goes 4 2/3, they get a standing ovation when they walk off the mound. Things have changed. The specialization of the bullpen has changed. We're not asking our starters to go deep into games anymore. I don't know why that all started or how it started, but that's where we're at. I mean, we're a long way away from the days of Gaylord Perry and Sandy Koufax and Bob Feller and Denny McClain. Guys would pitch. They would pitch 4, 5, 6 complete games in a row, and there was never a question asked. Now, if you go 4 2/3 or 5, you get a hero's send-off going to the locker room. That's one thing I'll be watching with Tanner Bybee tonight. Are you going to be able to put players away when you get up in the count 0-2, 1-2? I'll be watching the Control tonight too a little bit. Tanner Bibby's had some games, you'll see the line score and you'll go to the strikeout column and the walk column, and it's pretty close, and you don't want it that way. And I saw a lot of 9 strikeout, 5 walk games, stuff like that. That's not something that you really want to mess with too much right there. Scoreboard today. A lot of games in the big MLB opening day. If you missed it last night, the Yankees beat the Giants 7-0. How about that? How about that last night? The total was 6.5. Ended up on 7. My guy Sal, he called it. He called it at the end of the show yesterday. He was right on.
How did people respond to that? Did people love it on Netflix, or did they hate it?
Well, most of the comments I saw, people really didn't like it.
Okay.
They missed 2 base hits to start innings because they weren't back from commercial break in time, which is an absolute no-no. That's a sin in television. And they missed the first ABS ball strike challenge call of the season because they were too busy doing an interview in-game with one of the managers.
During the game, they were doing an interview?
Yes.
That's what?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
And they had a couple players mic'd up last night while the game was going on. And they were doing some interviews there too. And maybe the young folks like this. I could give 2 flips about in-game interviews. Seriously, I could care less. Just play the game. Have the score bug up there. Let me know who's winning, what inning it is, what the count. And that's it. That's all I need. I don't need in-game interviews. I don't need that. And I'm pretty sure the players and managers don't want it. But then they'll say, well, we're paying X and X amount of money for this. You have to do this. So they don't have a choice. How about I'm glad you brought that up about Netflix. I had it on the sheet here.
Well, I was just super curious to see how much everybody hated it, because that's been the track record for Netflix picking up sports.
Yeah, with the NFL, with Major League Baseball
exactly.
Now. I would say they did not do well in the eyes of the consumer last night. Now, I'm sure they did some nice stuff. I didn't watch all 9 innings. I'm sure they did some good stuff. I'm sure they had some great camera work. I'm sure they had some great shots, some replays. I'm sure they did a nice job. But there were some major boo-boos last night, too. Second of all, did you happen to see the first pitch was 20 minutes late getting started? So it started at 8:25 last night. It was supposed to start at 8:05. That's another sin in television. That is never supposed to happen. Number 2, did you see all the pomp and circumstance and nonsense when they introduced the San Francisco Giants to the home crowd last night at the ballpark? You know how they always introduce the teams before the games? They'll introduce the visiting team one by one, non-starters, starters, coaches, the manager, and they'll line up down the third base line. And then they'll introduce the home team, same deal. They'll go down and line up on the first base side. And then that's usually about the time they'll do the national anthem. And then we'll do the play ball, and we're ready to go. Well, as only California would do it, and as only San Francisco would do it, they have to get goofy and weird about stuff. Typical California. They brought a cable car onto the field last night, and the players walked out of the cable car as they were being introduced. Oh, but it gets better. You know what? I can even live with that.
Yeah, that's not that bad.
But they had 1, 2, 3, 4. They probably had about 6 young ladies, I'm guessing. And a mascot dancing and gyrating around the cable car while the guys were being introduced, they were throwing up stacks of smoke and lighting off like sparklers as each guy came out of the cable car. Hey,
I'm so disappointed I didn't watch.
Look. Hey, I'm sure you can go back to YouTube and watch it.
I should have just watched the open at least.
You can go back and watch it. You can just search it on YouTube. You can call up KNBR Radio. They've got videos on all their social media platforms. And look, I'm a 55-year-old man. I'm not going to turn away or shy away from an attractive female dancing in front of me. Come on, let's just all be real about it.
Yeah, we're men here.
But I don't need 6 or 8 of them dancing like they're at the strip club outside of a cable car, gyrating and thrusting and doing these just bizarre body movements and motions when the players are being introduced to the crowd. I just thought that was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life. Anybody else see this? Go search it, YouTube.
I'm working on seeing it right now.
Yeah. Please,
so curious.
Please help me understand why I need Shaquilla and Bopsy and Coco. Why do I need those dancers outside of the cable car? And like they were, they were going like Shakira, like 100 miles an hour the whole time. I don't know. I just didn't understand it. I don't get it. Who thought that was a good idea? Who thought that was a good idea? Look, if you're at the Fisherman's Wharf XXX Club outside of the park, great. But this going on outside of a cable car on the baseball field on opening night in front of a national TV audience and 45,000 people, I just thought it was weird. Anybody else see that? 330-821-1310. Text me or get it in on the chat on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. I just thought it was bizarre. Such a California thing. Weird. 26 minutes past the hour. We'll take a break. It's the Sam Bourquin Show. We'll be right back.
Dust off the leg warmers. The arts are going totally tubular. Arts in Stark's campaign for the arts is cranking up the volume on creativity across Stark County. From inspiring kids in classrooms to powerful performances to colorful public art, the art makes our community shine. But even the best mixtape needs a little support. Make your gift today at artsandstark.com and help keep the arts loud, proud, and totally awesome. Arts in Stark's campaign for the arts. Now that's radical.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
How's Tommy doing now?
Much better.
You said it was asthma?
Yeah, he started with this cough and then he was wheezing.
That's terrifying.
Doctor said hidden triggers can make it worse. Things like dust, mold, and even pests.
Pests?
Yeah, droppings and allergens from cockroaches and rodents can seriously impact children with asthma or allergies.
I had no idea.
We're making sure our home stays pest-free.
Don't let pests put your family's health at risk. Visit pestworld.org to learn more. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
We're back, 1310 WDPN. It is the Sam Bourquin Show. It's 4:29. It's time for Sammy's Best Bet of the Day. Now, we came up a little short last night, but we've hit 3 out of our last 4. Rainsburg, you watched that video yet?
No, I'm running the show. I'll watch it during the break.
Yeah.
I will be fully up to speed when we come back.
I've made it nice and easy for you. I sent you the KNBR clip from the stadium. You can check that out. All right, tonight, our Sammy's Best Bet, we're going to go to the Sweet 16, and we're going to go to the Illinois-Houston game. 3rd seed Illini, the 2nd-seeded Cougars of the University of Houston. Now, fun part about this is the Houston Cougars are playing the Illinois Fighting Illini in Houston tonight at the Toyota Center where the Rockets play. This is virtually a home game tonight for Houston. I don't understand why Vegas only has them as a 2.5-point favorite. I really don't understand that at all. So we're going to stay away from the side. I do like the total. It's kind of right where I think it would be at 140.5. And these teams play pretty good defense, right? Houston really gets after Illinois. Pretty aggressive on the defensive end of the floor. I think this is going to be very, very close to the total with about 2 or 3 minutes to go, and you may say, "Oh God, it's not going to make it." But I think free throw shooting is going to get this thing over the total. That's how I think we're going to get there. So give me Illinois and Houston tonight over 140.5. The Cougars in the Illini college basketball tonight over 140.5. That is Sammy B's best bet of the night. News and weather next, right here on 1310 WDPN. On the other side, Adam Jardy from the Columbus Dispatch.
Here's the latest news on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 4:30. Indirect talks between Iran and the U.S. are reportedly taking place and moderated by Pakistan. But the fighting is far from over, and Iran continues to block most maritime traffic from going through the Strait of Hormuz. More from ABC's Matt Rivers in Doha.
Israel saying they have just killed the head of the Iranian Navy as President Trump looks to strike a potential deal with Iran. And here in the Gulf, 2 people were killed in the UAE after an Iranian attack. Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait also attacked overnight.
Meanwhile, thousands more U.S. troops are nearing the region. Sirens over Israel warned of barrages of incoming Iranian missiles today, and Gulf nations worked to intercept fire. Heavy strikes were reported in Iran's capital and another city. Wall Street followed global markets lower, and oil prices jumped above $100 per barrel today as a de-escalation of the Iran war appeared further out of reach. Futures for the S&P 500 and Dow Jones Industrial Average each fell 0.7% before the opening bell. NASDAQ futures lost 0.8%. Brent crude, the international standard, rose 3.4% to $100.61 per barrel. It was below $95 Wednesday. Benchmark U.S. crude was 3.2% higher at $93.25 a barrel. The rise in oil prices lifted shares of energy producers such as ConocoPhillips and Valero Energy, though the gains were modest at about 1%. Congress is scheduled to leave town tomorrow for Easter recess, but there's still no deal to end the partial government shutdown. Democrats say GOP leaders are refusing to accept reforms to ICE. Republicans accuse Democrats of moving the goalposts with immigration reform. ABC's Whit Johnson has more from JFK Airport.
Those security lines getting longer and thousands of TSA officers calling out day after day. The administration is sending hundreds more ICE agents to airports across the country to help fill the void. And now President Trump is warning he may have to call up the National Guard.
A Florida 12-year-old has been charged with attempted murder, aggravated battery, and other charges in a Tuesday morning stabbing at a Florida middle school. The suspect is accused of stabbing 2 other 7th graders and a worker and is being held without bond at a juvenile detention facility. At a press conference Wednesday, Walton County Sheriff Michael Atkinson said the stabbings did not appear to target any particular individual.
To our knowledge, by an investigation yet, there is no relationship between the victims and the suspect.
It's 71 degrees in Alliance at 432. This is WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
This weather is brought to you by Grove Appliance Furniture and Mattress. Local, trusted, and family-owned for 90 years. With a huge selection of appliances, furniture, and mattresses to go with unmatched customer service. It's going to warm up today, 71 degrees for the high, not bad, but showers and storms will arrive by late afternoon and evening. Some of those storms could be severe. Keep an eye to the sky. Overnight, strong to severe storms through about midnight, and then some showers after that with a low of 37. I am Mark J. Weather from 3 News.
Rediscover the comfort of home with Grove Appliance Furniture and Mattress, your hometown spot for comfort, quality, and style. From sleek new appliances that make life easier to furniture that actually fits the way you live, Grove helps you create a space that feels like home. And with hundreds of fabric options, you can make it completely your own. Don't forget about their design center. If you're looking for a complete overhaul, they can help you with all of it, from cabinets and countertops to backsplashes and sleek appliances. Their local team takes time to find out exactly what you need. No pressure, no guessing, just honest advice and real service. And if you're upgrading on a budget, check out Grove's Scratch and Dent Room, where small imperfections mean big savings on top brands. Because when your home feels right, everything else just works. Grove Appliance Furniture and Mattress. Hometown comfort. Made simple.
Come see us at Grove, where it always feels like home.
There's a red moon rising on the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake. There's a red moon rising on the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake. There's an oil barge winding down the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake.
Opening day. Welcome back, everybody. AM1310 WDPN. It is the Sam Bourquin Show. 330-821-1310. You can text the show at 330-924-7088, or, as a lot of you are doing right this minute, you can watch and listen on all of our social media platforms, including the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. We got the chat open, and some really good chats are coming in. We are going to switch gears off of baseball and dancers twerking before the Giants-Yankees game last night. And we're going to talk a little college basketball, little Buckeye hoops, and we'll get into the Big Ten here a little bit and maybe a little Sweet 16 talk. Adam Jardy, kind enough to join us today here on the program. Adam does a tremendous job with the Columbus Dispatch covering the Ohio State men's basketball team. Adam, how you doing on this Thursday afternoon?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for coming on today. I know you have been busy. The end of the regular season, the Big Ten tournament, and then the NCAA tournament. And here we are for the Sweet 16, the Scarlet and Gray not taking part. But I kind of want to do a little Buckeye rewind, and then we'll look ahead maybe to next season and see if there's a couple of changes here or there. But after all the dust has settled, and here we are, your take, maybe a letter grade, so to speak, on the Buckeyes this past year. What do you got?
Letter grade, I'd give it a solid B.
Okay.
I mean, it's not where Ohio State wants to be, and just making the tournament obviously isn't where they want the standard, and there's expectations that things will, continue to progress from here. But when you think back to the last couple of years and the journey just to, get to the NCAA tournament, it's another year of progress in my mind. And it's not, hey, you've arrived and everything is, sunshine and roses at this point. But I think ultimately I will look at this year as building on what had happened the previous year and a sign that, things are trending in an upward direction right now.
So I'm trying to do a little bit of this off of memory. They went from 17 to 21 wins, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And they went from not getting into the big dance to getting there. Again, it was a wild season. You had guys that were dinged up and injured and unavailable at times. This was, we're starting to get used to the East Coast, West Coast grind of the Big Ten season now because of the conference realignment. And then there was, the Coach Diebler still, like, I don't want to say he's still getting his feet wet, but as quickly as he was kind of put in there when Holtman was let go and he kind of took over the program and had a nice little run and they hired him. And I just kind of, I look back at this season, I say, okay, there was a lot of moving parts. And I think I've come to the conclusion that, 21 was pretty good as far as the wins. They played a pretty decent non-conference schedule. We would have loved to win that opening game, of course. But I think the program's in the right direction. And I guess it all comes down to now is, A, recruiting other guys to come into your program, and B, recruiting your own guys to stay.
Yep.
And that's the big challenge we're all facing.
Yeah, and those are the conversations that they've been having right now is certainly figuring out like what's important in the transfer portal. What do you need to do from a roster standpoint to put yourself in a position to be even better next year? But it starts with retention. And this is now, it's another major point of emphasis for this program as it goes into the offseason is trying to make sure that, you're keeping the guys that you want to keep and then building around that. Like you don't want to just start over from scratch, every year. So that's kind of where they are right now in this offseason is continuing to have conversations with the guys that they want to keep and then figuring out, okay, who stays, who doesn't stay. And then what do we need to do to try to fill out, the rest of the roster. And that's, it's a bit of a moving target right now because it is still kind of early. Nobody's signed anything yet. Mm-hmm. Transfer portal doesn't officially open till April 7th. So that doesn't mean that guys aren't having conversations with people. I mean, it's college basketball. Like if you're going to be entering the portal on April 7th, people know about it and they're already talking to you. So, it's, we're not naive enough to think that nothing will happen till the day the portal opens, but,
right.
They're still kind of in that process right now of figuring out who's coming back and who's not. And then where do you go from there? But clearly they need to get a lead guard, someone to replace Bruce Thornton. I think they need another center and then probably maybe another backup guard, but we'll see ultimately, like I said, how those conversations shake out with the current roster.
Adam Jardy is our guest from the Columbus Dispatch, Buckeye beat reporter. So let's just say, Adam, in almost a fantasy world here, but the world we live in now, with guys that are graduating, we know that they have used up their eligibility. We know Bruce is moving on. Do we have any idea, just like what the grades say next to them, junior, senior, sophomore, who is back as of right now next year from this club that, really played well and got a lot of minutes and did a lot of good?
I mean, as far as guys who can be back, who you would say, like, you need to try to retain these guys. I mean, to me, it starts with John Mobley and Amari Bynum.
Yes.
Like, those are the two guys that I think most consistently played high-level basketball, and you can say, man, there's still, like, better stuff ahead for them. Like, you can still see the pathway for them to grow and step into even bigger roles next year. Funny thing about Bynum, you look at him, there were two guys in this Ohio State roster that played every game this season. And one was obviously Bruce Thornton and then Amari Bynum. Those are the only two guys that were in every game this season.
Wow.
So clearly and then you look at like how Amari's production picked up, how his minutes picked up, and all that took place during the course of a gauntlet of a Big Ten season. Like that's when he started to make gains as a player, which I think would give you reasonable hope that there's even more room for growth there when you go through that freshman to sophomore offseason that everybody always talks about. So, I mean, to me, it starts with those two. And John Mobley was an honorable mention All Big Ten player. Without Bruce Thornton in that backcourt, he's going to get even more opportunity next year. And, crazy as it sounds, from a like points per game standpoint, he's ahead of where Bruce Thornton was after 2 years. Like,
wow.
If we think about how unlikely it is in this era to see somebody set the all-time scoring record, like, talk to me in another year and a half, but it's not crazy to suggest that John Mobley could be in the running for something like that if he stays at Ohio State for 4 years and keeps shooting like this. So to me, it starts with those two. Devin Royal is going to be an interesting one to me because I don't think he really progressed as much this year as maybe maybe we thought he would. His scoring production was the exact same as it was last year. He took more threes and made a higher percentage of them, but he was less effective from two. His rebounding was down. He missed a couple of games throughout the course of the year. He would be a fourth-year guy, and he's a Central Ohio product. But I don't know what that looks like for him next year. I think that's going to be an interesting decision on his part as far as what he wants to do with his final year. But like I said, to me, it starts with Mobley and Bynum, and then I think you go from there.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with you there. Adam Jarding's our guest, Buckeye beat reporter for the Columbus Dispatch, kind enough to join us here on the show, 1310 WDPN. So I think I read a story yesterday, the day before, saw something up on one of the social medias that the Buckeyes were going to, it looked like there was going to be like some additions into the NIL as far as the basketball program is concerned. And I don't know if you knew anything about that. As Ross Bjork talked about, okay, we need to step it up here a little bit. We're going to work on the collective. We need to do better, have more available. Where does that stand in this wild, wild world of college basketball?
Well, it's hard to put like an exact figure on it. And certainly trying to compare one school to another is frankly largely impossible because you're kind of getting half the story from like a couple different people. But it is clear Ohio State wasn't where it needed to be from a financial situation last season. And they're in a better spot this year. Everybody that I talked to and all the information I've been able to gather tells me that they're in a better financial situation than a season ago. And that's something they work on literally all the time. Like they lost to TCU on Thursday. It flew back Thursday night. And like Jake Diebler was out raising money that weekend. Like it literally never stops. But from a resource standpoint that Ohio State is able to provide, and also from a financial, like outside perspective, they're in a better spot. Does that mean that they are? I mean, everyone has talked about like Kentucky's roster cost $22 million this year, and certainly like North Carolina's roster has been scrutinized for how much they spent. They're not in that type of financial reality, but they're in a better spot than they were a year ago, and I think it's probably reasonable to say they'll end up probably in the top half of the Big Ten from a financial standpoint this year, and even that is progress from where they've been. So now they've got to use that money and allocate it to give themselves the best roster. I think, you could look at the end of the bench this past year and say you had some guys that were maybe making more than what they were producing. And, does that mean that next year, instead of Ohio State's roster having 15 guys on it, does it have 13 guys, but only 10 of them are really making anything in NIL? Like that might be, you have more money and you're spending it on fewer players. So then theoretically you have more high quality players than you did this year. I think that might be what we end up seeing from the roster next year.
I had a good friend of mine ask me, I think it was the night that BYU went out of the tournament. And he said, hey, they paid this DeBonsa guy $7 million. And where did it get him? And I put some thought into that. And I said, well, okay, where did it get them? Okay, they had some nice wins. They sold out every game at the Marriott Center, which is almost 20,000 people. They got a lot of great exposure, the big games, the bright lights on the big networks. But they did fizzle out. They didn't get where they wanted to go. Is this something that you would see Ohio State maybe do or think about doing if they could find that coveted kind of a player? Would they roll the dice and pay that kind of big money for one guy or maybe two, or would they just tend to spread it out all the way?
Well, I mean, I don't think they'll spread it out as much as they did this past year. And that the BYU situation is really fascinating because, I mean, DeBonsa was incredible. And, he certainly electrified that program. When you really look at their season, they lost Richie Saunders to injury in like mid-February. And I actually, as you were saying that, I was pulling up their schedule, but like they went 4-6 without him. And he was a critical part of that team. And I think what that shows you is that like depth in college basketball, you lose one key player, it really can throw things. I mean, like when Saunders went out, I think they were like, what are they, like 18-6 or something like that. Or things were humming for them. And then it just very quickly went sideways when you lost such an important piece. And so, I mean, as far as like, would Ohio State sign an AJ DeBonsa and just build everything around him? I mean, Anthony Thompson is viewed as an NBA lottery pick in a year and a half from now. And, he's a McDonald's All-American coming in that will play a significant role on Ohio State's roster next season. And I would imagine he's being fairly well compensated for that. So maybe not like quite an AJ DeBonsa type of comparison, but because I do think Ohio State will have pieces around him, but that's a massive recruiting land that doesn't come cheap these days. So that's at least kind of on the same, not the same, but maybe somewhat similar, same ballpark type of situation.
Yeah, Adam, I've wondered, with Ohio State being who they are, the Ohio State University, and, all of the sports that they have to cover, and, people got to be taken care of. You got to, what do they got? 34, 35
36
sports. Oh my God, 36. So that's a lot. That's a big budget. And we know that they fill the coffers pretty well for the football program, and rightfully so. I wonder if that will ever have an impact on, say, like the basketball program or another sport that maybe does a little bit of revenue generating for them because they have to pour so much in to the football side. Will that always be like a thing with Ohio State?
I would imagine so. I mean, you know where your bread is buttered, and I think every team, every athletic program at Ohio State understands like what options 1, 2, and 3 are, and it's always going to be like football doing well makes everything else better for everyone else. So like that's certainly that's a reality of being at Ohio State. It is interesting though, because like I would guess, and from talking to a couple of people, I think this is pretty standard across the board, where no matter whether you're Ohio State football or men's basketball or women's ice hockey or whatever, I guarantee you that they run into situations where they're recruiting somebody in the transfer portal, and then that person says, well, okay, well, you could give me 400,000 more. You're Ohio State. And even football like runs into like football doesn't have unlimited funds. I mean, they have whatever the next step down from unlimited is, I would say is probably where football is.
Okay.
They've got plenty to work with. And I'm sure that if it's a situation where, Ryan Day needs an extra $300,000 to bring in this cornerback or whatever, he's probably going to be able to find a way to raise that. But they do run into that across the board. And I know that was a thing for men's basketball last year in assembling this roster. The list of players that I understand they finished second on because they were in a really good spot. And then this person said, well, this school's offering me, another $400,000, and they couldn't match that. That's a reality of what it is right now to be in college athletics.
That brings up a fascinating question. And I don't know if you have the answer. You just mentioned, okay, they're close to player X. They think they got him. Player X says, school B offered me another $500,000. I'm going to go there. How do we know that that's true? Is there a way to track that kind of a thing?
I mean, not really. Like, that could be the agent just making something happen, or that could be somebody giving you an inflated number. There's really not like a really good way to document these kinds of things, other than I would assume that in a scenario like that, where if you say, hey, well, congratulations, go get that extra 500,000 and go to that school. But if they end up saying, actually, never mind, we'll just stay, then I think that maybe that tells us a little something there. But to this point, across the board in college sports, like schools have been able to keep this stuff protected, and you're not getting specifics on those kinds of things. And to an extent, maybe there's maybe that changes at someday, and maybe that we're talking about a different ecosystem where it is all professionalized and collectively bargained, and that kind of stuff comes out in the wash. But for now, it's just a lot of he said, she said, and you got to hope that your sources are telling you the truth.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of wild risks to take there on both sides of that ball. Adam Jardy is our guest, does a great job, beat reporter for the Ohio State men's basketball team, Columbus Dispatch, joining us here on the show, 1310 WDPN. The Sweet 16, and the reason I bring this up with you is because I look at the 16 teams that are left. I see Purdue, I see Iowa, I see Nebraska, I see Illinois, I see Michigan, I see Michigan State. Holy cow, Adam. The Big Ten is the real deal. They are flexing in the basketball world nowadays.
Yeah, this has been a long time coming, honestly, where the Big Ten's getting this many teams to the second weekend. And it's certainly, I was even looking at it today, just for like an Ohio State standpoint of, Ohio State finished 8th in the Big Ten standings and had the 8th seed in the Big Ten tournament. And I think it's like if Ohio State had won one more game in the Big Ten, like would have gotten a triple bye, would have had a top 4 seed based on some of the tiebreakers and things, which congratulations. Like no one hangs a banner for that kind of stuff. But I think it's worth pointing out like the level of the quality of the Big Ten at the top and what we did see from this conference, like night in and night out. And, would Ohio State have liked to have had a few more wins in the league? Absolutely. But like there's a high level of basketball in that conference this year. And that hasn't always been the case. And like, I'd have to go back and really look at the numbers. I know there've been seasons where it's like, oh, the Big Ten got 10 teams in the NCAA tournament. It's like, yeah, and they're all 8, 9, 11, 12 seeds.
Right.
Like that wasn't long ago where it was like you had Purdue and then a bunch of but there are legitimately, I mean, Michigan is clearly a national championship contender. Purdue was the number 1 team in the preseason, like in the first polls of the year. Illinois is talented enough to make a Final Four. Michigan State is clearly tough enough to make something like that happen. And I mean, it's a shame that Nebraska and Iowa have to play each other because those have been two really, really fun stories to watch. But like, both those teams look really dangerous right now. So there's a lot of high level basketball that we saw in the league this year. I'll be curious. Like, is somebody going to break that drought? Is this the year that we get a Big Ten national champion for the first time since Michigan State won it in 2000? Because it seems like they are primed to have that kind of opportunity.
And with this many teams in, even though 2 of them play each other, I mean, I think the chances are really good that somebody from the Big Ten brings it all home this year. Adam Jardy, our guest, he does a great job covering the Buckeyes. Check him out on the Columbus Dispatch on all of your social medias. Adam, always appreciate the visit. Enjoy the rest of the college basketball season and the off season, quote unquote. And I'm sure we'll catch up with you here down the road. Thanks again.
I'm excited to have my TV on and then also my phone on watching opening day tonight while I'm also watching the Sweet 16. So it's a great day in the sports calendar.
It is. Keep that remote handy. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
There you go. Adam Jardy from the Columbus Dispatch here on the Sam Bourquin Show. Quick break. We'll come back, get you up to the news here at the top of the hour. Stay with us.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
How's Tommy doing now?
Much better.
You said it was asthma?
Yeah, he started with this cough and then he was wheezing.
That's terrifying.
Doctor said hidden triggers can make it worse. Things like dust, mold, and even pests.
Pests?
Yeah, droppings and allergens from cockroaches and rodents can seriously impact children with asthma or allergies.
I had no idea.
We're making sure our home stays pest-free.
Don't let pests put your family's health at risk. Visit pestworld.org to learn more. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
The Whiz Kids had won it, Bobby Thompson had done it, and Yogi read the comics all the while. Rock and roll was being born, marijuana we would scorn. So down on the corner, the national pastime went on trial. We're talking baseball, Klazuski, Campanella, talking baseball.
Boy, one of the great baseball songs there. Talking baseball. Terry Cashman. I remember when this first came out, I was like, wow. And I don't know if you realize this, but Terry Cashman, he went on to write this very same song, but he did it for every individual team. So let's just say there was 28 teams in Major League Baseball when this came out. He would do a version for that team. Like the Indians had one, the Yankees had one, the Rangers had one. Everybody had their own talking baseball, talking about players from, present day to days gone by. But I'll never forget when this first came out. I'm not even sure what year it came out, but it was it took the sports world by storm. I know that. All right, Mickey and the Duke. All right, news and weather coming up next here on the show. We got one more big hour to go. Stay with us, everybody.
An important part of the Alliance community since 1953. You're listening to AM 1310 WDPN Alliance.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. A last and final offer has been given to Democrats by Republicans to reopen the Department of Homeland Security and end the 41-day government shutdown, says Senate Majority Leader John Thune. TSA officers have been calling in sick or quitting because they haven't been getting paid.
I'm definitely going to keep my eyes open for anything better to provide for my family. So if anything pops up, I'm definitely going to have to more than likely take it at this particular moment.
Jaron Kelly and his wife, Oksana, TSA officers at Orlando International Airport. The FAA investigating a close call between a United Airlines plane and a military helicopter near John Wayne Airport in Orange County, California, Tuesday. President Trump, in a social media post, says he'll delay the deadline for Iran to make a deal or face the destruction of its power plants by 10 days. This after the U.S. sent Iran a 15-point peace plan through a mediator, says the president's special diplomat, Steve Witkoff. This is ABC News.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Hi, Flo here to say that Progressive knows that life can change quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, like when I have to take my ex off my policy.
Oh, sorry. But yes, we can do that.
And can you send them a message and tell them that they have trust issues that they need to work on?
We don't really get in the middle of these conflicts.
Also, can you let him know that I was faking interest in his band and it's probably time to grow up?
I'm not going to do it. Just know that with Progressive, you can easily make changes to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Also, I'm staying in touch with his mom because she's absolutely lovely.
Bad idea.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Now, the latest Alliance area news from Jeff Mears on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 5:02. A man convicted in the death of his infant son has been arrested on a Florida beach after authorities say he violated parole. 44-year-old Anthony Grove of Canton was taken into custody Tuesday in Volusia County after deputies found him drinking alcohol. Grove pleaded guilty in 2015 to involuntary manslaughter and child endangering after his 2-month-old son died from injuries caused by thrown mud during an argument. He served an 8-year prison sentence. A man who allegedly stabbed a woman in Jackson Township and led police on a high-speed chase has been formally charged with the crimes. A Stark County grand jury indicted 43-year-old Tyrone Card. The homeless man faces charges of attempted murder, felonious assault, and aggravated robbery, each with a repeat violent offender specification. Card is accused of repeatedly stabbing the woman February 17th on Dressler Road Northwest, leaving her with life-threatening injuries. He fled the scene and crashed his vehicle in Portage County's Paris Township. Card remains in jail on a $1 million bond. A Stark County judge has sentenced a man for a hit-and-run crash in Canton that occurred November 4th. Common Pleas Judge Chrissa Hartnett handed 35-year-old Brian Blankenship ownership of Jackson Township, 3 years probation, 20 days in jail, and 100 hours of community service. He also was ordered to pay $27,000 in restitution, and his license was suspended for 6 months. On March 9th, Blankenship pleaded guilty to failure to stop after an accident, vehicular assault, and an additional count of failure to stop were dismissed by prosecutors. Police say Blankenship recklessly drove his pickup on 9th Street Northwest and struck a car at Shorb Avenue before fleeing the scene. A woman in the other vehicle was seriously injured. Stark County will see a series of major road projects get underway this year. ODOT has outlined multiple improvements across the county, including resurfacing of Route 62 in Alliance, Route 21 in Massillon, and Routes 235 and 241 in Canal Fulton, Lawrence Township, and Massillon. The largest project is a $12.8 million resurfacing of Route 30 through Canton, East Canton, and toward the Carroll County line, with ramp closures expected. Some projects will expend into 2027, including a roundabout and bridge replacement on Route 241 in Jackson Township. ODOT says traffic will generally be maintained. Motorists should plan for lane restrictions and periodic closures. More people are moving into Stark County, driving a second straight year of population growth. According to the Census Bureau, new data shows the county added more than 500 residents in 2025, following a larger gain the year before. Officials say the increase is fueled by net migration, even as deaths continue to outpace births. The trend is part of a broader population rise across Northeast Ohio. Officials cite affordable housing, job opportunities, and community amenities for attracting new residents, though an aging population could slow future growth. Perry Township trustees have hired outside legal counsel to handle water service annexation and joint economic development issues with the city of Canton. New Albany attorney David Ripenoff will charge $300 an hour. The township plans to sue the city. In other action, the board approved a tax break for a proposed data center on Faircrest Street Southwest. Trustees agreed to grant a 75% property tax abatement in exchange for $2.75 million up front and a share of future tax revenue. Residents have raised concerns about noise, water use, and transparency. Final approval still requires Stark County Commissioners and Canton. A former Perry High School and Ohio State football player will spend years in prison for a deadly high-speed drunk driving crash. 41-year-old Kirk Barton was sentenced in Franklin County Court to 5 to 7.5 years after pleading guilty to aggravated vehicular homicide. Prosecutors say he was driving more than 120 miles per hour with a blood alcohol level more than 3 times the legal limit when he hit another car in June 2025. The crash killed 24-year-old Ethan Perry. Barton also received a lifetime driver's license suspension. Bill Smith and Mike Galena have been named General Chair and Vice Chair for the 2026 Enshrinement Festival, organized by the Pro Football Hall of Fame and Canton Regional Chamber of Commerce. Smith is a Stark County Commissioner, while Galena is a Vice President at Altman Health System. They will lead volunteers for the annual event. A married couple in their 70s was shot and killed Wednesday afternoon in their Ravenna Township home. Portage County Prosecutor Connie Lewandowski says the investigation is preliminary and additional information is not being released at this time. A guilty plea has been entered by 43-year-old Gene Hill of Akron in the fatal overdose of a Ravenna man. Hill pled guilty to involuntary manslaughter and trafficking in a fentanyl-related compound in Portage County Common Pleas Court. Sentencing is pending completion of a pre-sentencing report. 31-year-old Tyrese Luttrell was found unresponsive at his home in January 2024. Police administered Narcan and performed CPR, but Luttrell later died at University Hospital's Portage Medical Center. As part of the plea deal, a charge of corrupting another with drugs was dismissed. A man will be sentenced April 24th in Columbiana County Common Pleas Court after pleading guilty to attempted murder and aggravated arson. 66-year-old Frederick Harrop of Columbiana also admitted today to charges including felonious assault and kidnapping. A second assault charge was dropped. Police say Harrop attacked a woman in June 2025 at a Fairfield Township mobile home, beating her with a baseball bat, strangling her, and setting fire to the home with her inside. He fled the scene but was later found with severe burns. A driver was injured when their car collided with a school bus near East Liverpool this morning. The Highway Patrol says shortly after 8:30, a car collided with a school bus on State Route 7 just north of Beaver Local High School. No one on the bus was hurt. Route 7 was temporarily closed in both directions between Bell School Road and Middle Beaver Road. The wreck is under investigation by the patrol. More than $36,000 in water system upgrades have been approved in the village of Sebring. During Monday's meeting, council signed off on projects including a new valve at the water plant and pump panel upgrade at the water tower. Lawmakers also hired Christopher Frazier as the village's new manager, effective April 6th. He'll earn $72,000 a year and most recently served as village manager in Delta, Ohio. Frazier succeeds Tim Gabrelsic, who is leaving after 3 years. Council also accepted a $630,000 federal grant to increase fire department staffing. They passed resolutions opposing proposed state bills, banning the purchase of drones made by entities deemed foreign adversaries, and restricting collection of unpaid utility bills from owners of rental properties. Police say a Boardman woman shot and killed her boyfriend after he allegedly tried to break into her apartment. Officers responded March 7th to the Mill Creek Drive apartment with her children inside, where 45-year-old Montrell Gilbert was found in a pool of blood. The woman told police she fired 3 times with her handgun when Gilbert tried to get inside. 4 shell casings were recovered at the scene. Mahoning County prosecutors are now reviewing the case to determine if charges will be filed. A man has been convicted of sexual abuse and sentenced to 5 years in prison. 51-year-old Thomas Steele of Camel was found guilty March 11th of 3 counts of gross sexual imposition and 1 count of disseminating matter harmful to juveniles. Mahoning County Common Pleas Judge John Durkin said the victim's testimony was a key factor in sentencing. The case resulted from allegations that Steele touched a girl while playing hide-and-seek in July 2024. He was arrested the following month and indicted by a grand jury in October 2024. Prosecutors sought 6.5 years, while his attorney requested probation. Steele is appealing his conviction. John Zanoli is facing sentencing after a jury convicted him of aggravated murder in his sister Janice Zanoli's death. Trumbull County prosecutors say in February 2025, Zanoli shot Janice twice in her bed at their Majory home and left her body for days while continuing his daily routine. He was also found guilty of a firearm specification and abuse of a corpse. Zanoli's lawyers argued he snapped after threats of eviction, but the jury returned the verdict Wednesday. Zanoli's bond has been revoked and sentencing will follow a pre-sentence investigation. A man was struck multiple times by a car Monday afternoon, leading to felonious assault charges against a Boardman woman. Warren police say the man fell partially under the vehicle, and 30-year-old Brianna Day allegedly backed up to strike him again after hitting a parked car on a third attempt. The victim recorded the encounter and shared it with officers. Day was later located at a home on Linda Drive. She pleaded not guilty Tuesday. It's 71 degrees and Alliance at 5:09. This is the local edition of WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Meteorologist Mark Johnson has the latest forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
All right, keep an eye to the sky for your Thursday afternoon. I would say closer to the end of the rush hour, we'll see some strong to severe storms moving in. Some with damaging winds, large hail, heavy rain. Highs today, 71 degrees. Overnight tonight, rain showers before midnight, maybe some thunder, maybe some heavy rain, and then cooling down to a low at 37. I am Mark J. Weather from 3 News.
Live from the AM 1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM 1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
They've been down by as many as 21. Mitchell has an extra jump here in the second half. Hey! Knocks it down.
Larson saves it in the corner. For the coming Hawkeyes who've hammered it.
0-2 from Webb. Bouncer headed up the middle, and that's going to get through and drive in a couple of runs. 3-0 New York.
Underneath, throw it down, Bronny. The crowd loves it.
Back cut there and up and boom.
Landale gets out of there, whips it to McCollum. CJ, he hits it at the buzzer.
Big 1-foot shot.
In Detroit, you got to hit some shots like this.
Yeah, clutch shot at the very end.
Welcome in, everybody. Hour 3 of the Sam Bourquin Show. 330-821-1310 is our telephone number. Welcome in, everybody. 1310 WDPN. Hope you're having a wonderful day. The weather's been fantastic today. And now I must tell you that, courtesy of our good friend Jordan Miller from Jordan Miller News, we are under a tornado watch until 11 o'clock tonight. 11 o'clock tonight, tornado watch. What was it, Stark?
Let me get that. Oop, I lost it as soon as I opened my phone.
I know it's Stark, Tusk.
I will get the specific counties for you guys.
Trumbull. I think that's 3 of them. Maybe Summit.
Pretty sure there was 4.
Yeah.
Tornado watch, Stark, Wayne, Summit, and Portage. Other surrounding counties are under a tornado watch until 11 p.m. via Jordan Miller News on Facebook.
All right. Thanks for the good news, Jordan.
Yeah, thank you, Jordan.
We appreciate
the best
it.
news.
Boy. Yeah, I've been watching and trying to keep up with some of the reports that have been coming out. I've seen a couple, maybe 70-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, I saw
at
that.
some point during when everything kind of blows through.
Went and stuck my arm out the door out there to see how windy it was. It doesn't feel too bad.
How does it feel out there? Is it like it's just comfortable now? Is it nice?
It's a little cooler, but somehow more humid, it feels like.
Yep. Well,
the air was a little thinner earlier.
Yep.
It's getting thicker.
That means it's coming.
The pressure's changing.
Yeah. Now I see. Okay. So now they've moved this up. See, originally it was going to start around
now
4.
I think. Yeah.
And then they pushed it back to like 7, and now they're saying 6 o'clock. This should fire up.
Sweet. I called it. What did I say, Sam? What did I say earlier?
Right.
The moment we go to leave this building is when it's going to happen. I don't care what they say beforehand. I don't care what they change it to. It's the moment my foot hits the outside of this building.
Yeah. So as of right now, 70% starting around 6 o'clock. Then it dips down to 60. Then it actually has the sun coming out. And then it flips in the 8 o'clock hour to 50%. And then it's 100% all the way through like 3 in the morning. And then it just kind of peters out and goes away. So, well, here, this should tell you the tale. Right now, I'm showing 75 degrees. Tomorrow night, the low is 21. That's 52 degrees difference. We seem to have been having a love affair weather-wise with this kind of activity the last couple of weeks. Like, we'll go from 82 to 46. We'll go to 71 to 19. And now we're going to go from like 75 to 21 in about a 36-hour period. And the temperatures look a little chillier now this weekend than they were. The high of Friday is going to be 41. The high Saturday now is 39. And then we bounce back Sunday, Monday. Tuesday, we're up to 72 again. So it's going to be a Northeast Ohio weather roller coaster here coming up. Easter Sunday, I know that's a ways away.
Is it?
But what's that, Sunday the 5th? Easter is awfully
not this
early
Sunday,
this
but
year.
next Sunday.
Yeah, next Sunday we're looking at like 62 and rain.
Well, you can't trust that.
No.
That's 2 weeks
I
away.
don't trust 2 hours from here.
Yeah.
Let alone
you can't
a
trust
week
the
and a
weather
half.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Holy smokes. So now I got to check. I got to check Dallas. That's where we're going to be heading. We're actually leaving the day after Easter. We're going down to Texas for a while. And let's see what that looks like. Ugh. They must know we're coming.
Oh, it's looking good.
How about
that
this?
good?
How about this nonsense? We're going to be getting to Dallas on Monday, high of 68. Rain. 75 Tuesday, rain. 78, rain. Thursday, 81 and rain. Gee whiz, I hope that changes by the time we get there. But anyhow, such it is in Northeast Ohio. 3-question Thursday quiz today. Question number 1. Your favorite opening day memory for Major League Baseball. It could be Indians, could be the Guardians, could be anybody in Major League Baseball. What's your favorite opening day memory? Question number 2. Will the Guardians make the playoffs this year? Well, the last couple of years, I wouldn't even think twice about it. I don't know about this year. I've gone on record on the program today saying I think they'll make it, but it'll be the last wild card. I think it's going to be a struggle, to get in.
Look,
I think they'll make it.
If memory serves me correctly, they made a few rather not great decisions at the end of the season last year that kind of left them in a not so great spot. Am I correct?
Well, last year they won, I think, they came from 15 games behind, and they caught Detroit, and they passed them. And so to take the division. So the end of the regular season was fantastic. But they ran out of gas in the playoffs.
Like postseason with the trades and stuff.
They ran out of gas against Detroit, and that was it. I think they'll make it this year, but I think it's going to be, by the hair of their chinny chin chin. Okay? So that's question number 2. Will the Guards make the playoffs? Question number 3. Would you trade Myles Garrett right now for 2 first-round picks and a frontline player. Would you do that today? If I said you could do it today and you could pull it off today, and Myles would be out the door in 10 minutes, and you would have 2 first-round picks for this upcoming draft, or you would, in return, you get 2 first-rounders and a frontline starter, would you do it? That's our 3-question Thursday quiz. Get those comments in. You can text 330-924-7088. The chat is open in the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. And you can also deliver that to us via Facebook and all of our different social media platforms there as well.
We got Hall of Fame City on YouTube. He says, Stark versus Summit All-Star game is tonight at 7:30. I remember this game used to have a lot more fanfare and hype.
Well, that's what happens when it moves to Summit County. I've got some information. I wasn't making fun of them, but when the game was here, they used to play this game over at they played it at Malone for a while. Then they played it at Walsh, I think, for a year or two. And then it went up to Summit County. They had it here for a long time. And it did really, really well. But I think some of the game, like promoters and people that did the behind-the-scenes work and stuff, I think they just kind of got tired of doing it. And I think that's kind of what happened there. Don't hold me to that, but I think that's why that game went the way that it did. I did actually print some stuff out here. Bear with me. I know this is terrible on live radio to hear all these papers clinging back and forth, because when things print on both sides of the page, it makes it really difficult on the person trying to read it. But the game is tonight at Barberton. It's Stark Summit, and it begins at, I think the boys' game starts at 7:30.
He's not, well, he said the game is tonight at 7:30, but then he said girls play at 6:15 at Barberton, boys 15 minutes after, which would be 6:30, not 7:30. So.
Yeah, so the girls' game and then the boys' game will follow. Some of the boys that are participating in the game, let me see here. We got here Isaiah Lamp from Maslin, Jada Stigpen from Maslin, Javion Carter from McKinley, Anthony Chavers McKinley, Davey Thompson McKinley, Jake Bowling from Central, Lance Velosky Central, Roman Lang from Canton South, Caden Lloyd Jackson, and Nico Martelli from Perry. That's who is supposed to play. Matt Vall of the Perry Panthers is the coach of the Stark team. For the girls tonight, for their game, their players include Lily Belden, Sarah Belden, Ellie Buckler, all from Canton Central Catholic, Madison Lepley from Jackson, Ava Corey Jackson, Amaya Chester, Canton McKinley, Lila Cleve of Perry, let's see here, Hayden Croyle of Lake, Savannah Horning from Lake, Zoe McCourt from Hoover, Hannah Nicole of Maslin, Nancy Pirro of East Canton, and Ella Wittenholder of Marlington, and Tim Vandervaart from Central Catholic will be coaching the Stark County schools tonight. So, yeah, Barberton tonight, boys, girls, Stark Summit All-Star game begins around 6 for the girls and about 7:30 tonight for the boys. So if you want to go see some hoops, now that the official high school basketball season has come to a close, you can still watch them play tonight and go out there and root them on. A lot of freestyling, a lot of slam dunking in the boys' games. It's pretty fun. I've been to a lot of those games over the years. And if you want to check that out tonight, that'll be up at Barberton around 6 o'clock. Also, I'd mentioned to you at the beginning of the show today that you may not see some certain things at the Hall of Fame Village here in the very near future. And I want to credit Kelly Byer from the Cant Repository. The Play Action Plaza might look a little different. 3 amusement rides have been listed for sale online. And the big one is that 125-foot Ferris wheel. Remember they brought that down from the IX Center in Cleveland. They brought it down to the Village, and I think they operated it in March, maybe April of 23. They have listed it on sale, online sale for $499,000. Matter of fact, if you want to buy that Ferris wheel, you can get it right now. Rides4u.com. If you got an extra 500 G's sitting around, you want a Ferris wheel, put it in your backyard, you can get on that site right now and you can buy it. Also, the Forward Pass zip line, that's on the block for $99,000. And the Spike It Drop Ride is listed at $129,000.
Look,
so it looks like they are saying we don't want those rides anymore on the plaza. Is that a little weird, or does that make sense? Maybe they want to go a little different direction with what's available for entertainment purposes. They don't want the rides. Maybe the insurance is. I don't know.
Well, we keep hearing water park, and those three rides don't really fit at a water park.
No, not
per se.
Not really. Now they're not right next to where the water park will be.
Okay.
Per se, like they're in the area of the Village, but they're not right next door. So it's not like it would look weird because they wouldn't be next to each other. But I have to say, as many times as I go by the Village, whether it's 77 or there's many times during the week, I'll just take an extra 5 minutes out of my day and I'll drive through the campus. And even on the weekends, I just didn't see a lot of folks on that Ferris wheel. And I didn't see a lot of people on the drop ride, and I didn't see a lot of people on the zip line. So maybe they're just like, you know what, this was cute for a couple of years, but not really part of the philosophy moving forward. So we're gonna back out, and we're gonna try to get what we can for these rides and maybe do some other stuff with the space.
That is fundamentally the problem with Ferris wheels. They are only cool for so long.
I mean, I will say this. At night when it was lit up and it was moving around, it looked really cool. Like as part of the Village backdrop. You know, when the sun would go down and they had it moving around, especially like during Hall of Fame weekend and like Memorial Day weekend, they had the ribs burn off and everything. I thought it looked really cool at night when it was all lit up. I was like, oh yeah, that looks big time. That looks nice. But I don't think anybody ever wrote it.
Nah.
And especially during the day, I mean, you had to have people to be there to take tickets or take money or whatever. And I just don't know at the end of the day that it was a perfect fit, if you will. It was kind of like, it just seems to me that stuff was just kind of thrown together, and it just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? It's not the right time, not the right place.
The Ferris wheel really feels like it should be the last piece. Once you've built out your beautiful Village to look incredible, then you build the Ferris wheel so people can get up high and look down on all the cool stuff you've built.
Yeah.
You got a Ferris wheel overlooking not nothing, but
yeah, I just think that it looks like they've just made a decision that they just don't want it there anymore.
Well, and I'm sure it just sitting there is them basically just throwing money into a fire pit.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. They've put it up online for sale. Now here's the thing. What if nobody buys it?
Oh no, I mean,
then what do? You you keep it, you hold on to it, you keep running it. I mean, what do you do? Or do you just hope that so you listed it at $499,000. At this point, are you hoping to maybe get, $450 out of it? Because it is an auction, or it's an online sale, whatever that means. So I don't know if that price would fluctuate or say, hey, I'll give you so-and-so. Will you take that? Maybe that's how that works. I don't know.
I guess we'll have to see what it sells for at an auction.
Yeah.
That'd be really funny if it, I mean, they're probably going to take a huge L on it.
Well,
think about it. I mean, I don't know how much they paid for it.
Well,
but
that's the thing. When it was moved from the IX Center, was that a purchase? Or did the IX Center say, you know what, just get it out of here. You can take it.
That's a good point.
So I don't know. Maybe they'll end up turning a profit off of this thing after all. I don't know. But I wonder what it's going to look like now with no Ferris wheel, no zip line, and no drop it ride over there in the area where the fun zone.
Somebody who lives near the Football Hall of Fame has an opportunity to do the funniest thing ever.
Oh, God.
Buy the Ferris wheel and just put it in their backyard, like 50 feet from where it originally was.
I don't think they're
City of Canton. Let's band together and do the funniest thing possible.
I don't think they're going to let that happen.
No, probably not, but it would be funny.
I've got a sneaking suspicion that's not going to happen.
I'm sure there's some kind of ordinance against that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can't just put a Ferris wheel in your backyard, right? Where are the
got to
lawyers
make
at?
room to build that basketball arena for Sammy B. That's right. Okay, here we go. Get that Ferris wheel out of there. Get those other two rides out of there, and let's get that arena going. Yeah. See there? I'm not all crazy like y'all think I am. We're gonna move stuff out of there. We're gonna create more room, more space, more acreage, and we're gonna start building that 8,500 seat arena at the Hall of Fame Village. Yes, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Don't laugh. I see some of you out there laughing, pounding your fist against the table and rolling your eyes on the computer. I see you. Might happen. You never know. Never say never. Can I just tell you that I am afraid to go on a Ferris wheel? I won't do it.
I'm terrified of heights.
I will.
Petrified.
I've been on two. I'll never go again. I don't care where they're at. I'll never do it again. My wife tried to get me to go on the big one out in Vegas. I just flat out told her, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not going up there. And I didn't. I shimmied off to one of the casinos. Probably lost a lot of money. On this day in 1972, the Los Angeles Lakers broke an NBA association record by winning 69 of their last 82 games. That's pretty wild. On this day in 1992 in Indianapolis, not a good day for Mike Tyson, heavyweight champion, was found guilty of rape. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison. He only ended up serving 3. 1995, an opera based on the life of tennis player Martina Navratilova premiered at New York's Carnegie Hall. And in 2014, the National Labor Relations Board ruled that college football players at Northwestern University could unionize. That was a wild story that day. And that is on this day in sports history. We'll take a break. We got the news, the weather. Don't forget Tornado Watch until 11 o'clock tonight. All that more coming up. 1310 WDPN.
Now, the latest area news on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 5:30. Pressure is mounting on Congress to end the funding shutdown. It's resulted in travel disruptions, missed paychecks, and even warnings of airport closures. But lawmakers have yet to resolve the underlying issue of reining in President Trump's immigration enforcement operations. Senators were expected to vote today on a Republican proposal that would fund the Transportation Security Administration and much of the Department of Homeland Security, except immigration enforcement and removal operations. But it was expected to fail. Democrats argue the GOP plan falls short in putting guardrails on federal officers engaged in immigration sweeps. Congress is set to leave town by week's end for recess as calls intensify for an end to the 41-day stalemate. A month into the war with Iran, sources say the U.S. and Iran have been trading messages through Pakistan, despite denials from inside Tehran. ABC's Rachel Scott has more from Washington.
Even this morning, the president is insisting that Iran is begging the United States to make a deal, saying that if they do not get serious soon, it won't be pretty. But Iran says they are not interested in negotiating with the U.S.
Meanwhile, Israel says they have killed the head of the Iranian Navy. In the Gulf, 2 people were killed in the UAE after an Iranian attack. Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait were also attacked overnight. The Iran war has deflected global attention from Russia's all-out invasion of its neighbor Ukraine as Europe's biggest conflict since World War II enters its 5th year and an emboldened Kremlin undertakes a spring offensive. The past week showed that neither side is easing up. Russia on Tuesday fired almost 1,000 drones and 34 missiles at Ukraine in one of the war's biggest bombardments. The following day, Ukraine launched almost 400 drones in the largest reported overnight attack on Russian regions and Crimea. Ukraine's fate is still Europe's top foreign policy issue, fueled by fears that Moscow has wider ambitions. Where Americans are moving and not moving is shifting again. New data shows slower growth in many parts of the country. ABC's Dave Packer reports.
New numbers from the U.S. Census Bureau show population growth slowed across most metro areas in the past year, largely due to fewer immigrants arriving. Border regions were hit especially hard. In Florida, powerful storms forced thousands to leave communities along the Gulf Coast. But some areas still booming. Cities like Houston and Dallas remain top growth leaders, along with fast-growing areas in the Southeast. With fewer births nationwide, demographers say migration is now the key factor deciding which communities grow, which ones shrink. Dave Packer, ABC News.
It's 70 degrees in Alliance at 5:32. This is WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Now, the Alliance Area Weather Forecast from Mark Johnson on AM 1310 WDPN.
Cloud sun mix for your Thursday afternoon. Keep an eye out for some late afternoon and evening strong to severe thunderstorms. Our high today, 71 degrees. Overnight rain and thunder through about midnight, and then we'll dry it out. Our low 37. I am Mark J. Weather from 3 News.
Ba-da-ba-ba. Guardians tonight and the Seattle Mariners. 10-10 first pitch. Tanner Bybee on the bump tonight for Cleveland. I'll be watching that tonight. I'll be watching college basketball tonight. 4 games of college hoops. We got the Guardians at 10-10. There's a lot of other Major League Baseball going on. I'll watch the Dodgers tonight too a little bit. I'll flip back and forth. I'll see how NBC does their baseball game tonight. I know it'll be better than Netflix, for God's sake. Guardians are on MLB TV tonight, 10-10. Got a feeling I'm going to be up late tonight. I've got a feeling 10-10, 11-10, 12-10, 1. I have a feeling it's going to be about a 1:30 bedtime. So if anybody's up tonight, reach out. I'll be awake.
We had a comment from Scooter earlier about the Netflix baseball scenarios. What word am I trying to use here? Anyway, Scooter says, dear God, a cable car and dancing girls twerking for the love of Mike.
Yeah, that was in response to our little fun story we had today about if you watched the game on Netflix last night, or if you were at the ballpark in San Francisco, instead of introducing the San Francisco Giants one by one to come out and line up on the third base line, they brought a cable car, which is what San Francisco is famous for. And that and Rice-A-Roni. They put a cable car on the field last night, and they were playing loud music, and they had smoke going up in the air and pyrotechnics, and they had like 6 or 8 dancing girls gyrating and moving and grooving around the cable car the entire time while they introduced everybody in the organization, it seemed. All the non-starters, the starters, the coaches, the manager, the trainer, all that. And those girls were just, they were going to town. It was like being at Magic City in Atlanta, Georgia. They were just, quite a scene.
To be fair, they had the same thing for the New York players. They were coming out between taxi cabs with also dancing girls.
Oh, they had them come out of taxi cabs?
They came out. They had 2 yellow New York cabs that they parked on either side of the runway, and they ran out between the taxi cabs. And there was girls dancing in front of the taxi cabs.
I didn't even know that. Look, I don't want to go on it. I get it. I understand it. I kind of get it. I get it. The cable car, San Francisco, the taxi cabs, New York City. I get it. I love it. I understand it. But help me see the value.
I think
help me see the value in that before a baseball game for the price that I paid, and I bet you it was a pretty penny, in San Francisco on opening night with the Yankees in town. Help me understand how that adds value to my experience. Let me ask it that way. And if anybody is listening or knows anybody with the San Francisco promotions department, San Francisco Giants, I would just love to know what is the relevancy there to a baseball game. Help me understand. What's that the line from the Tom Cruise and the help me help you. Help me understand.
What is that from?
Help
me to help you.
What movie is that from?
God, that's gonna bother me now.
He's the agent for the football player.
Is that Tom Cruise?
Yeah. Money. What was it called?
Oh yeah.
Show Me the Money. What was the name of that movie?
Good Lord, my brain.
Anyway, help me help you.
We know what it is.
In there.
We're not going to remember the title of it because we never do, but we know what movie we're talking about.
We know. Just trust us. We know. I want somebody to explain to me what relevancy that adds. Couldn't you come up with something better?
I don't know if that's relevancy. I think they're going for eyeballs. I don't know. I think.
Okay, let me ask you this. The ballpark in San Francisco holds about 42,000.
Okay.
You're a paying customer. And you could be male, you could be female, you could be 6 years old, you could be 95 years old. If I had a chance to go around to everybody over the age of 12 and say, what did you think of the pregame tonight? What do you think they would tell me? Do you think they would? You think, it was great. We enjoyed it. It was great. Or do you think it would be, what the hell did I just watch?
I think if I was at the game, I would, as I do, I don't really have any strong feelings about it. I think it could be said, there could be something to be said about the fact that they're not like half naked, which is, in my opinion, an improvement. At least they're wearing clothes. I guess my standards are low.
I mean, that's kind of my point. So you're like, you could care less one way or the other.
It doesn't add anything to the game, and it doesn't take anything away from the game.
So to me, that's a loss on the promotions department because you're apathetic about it.
Yeah, you're not adding anything to the game
for
the experience.
You didn't hate it. You didn't love it. You didn't really care. And to me, that's their department not doing their job. You wanted to make a splash, right? You wanted people to remember it or have some sort of opinion about it. But if that's the and look, I don't know, maybe people out there like that stuff. I don't know. Maybe baseball is the last thing on their mind at a stadium. They're there for everything else. I don't know. It's not that I'm grumpy Gus on the couch. I just don't see the relevancy. That's all. You can think out of the box, but come up with something that makes sense. I get the New York City cab. I get the cable car thing. But all the other goofy stuff. And the fact that you held up the first pitch for 20 minutes while you're doing all this stuff.
Yeah, that definitely adds a layer to it.
I mean, I got to imagine somebody at Netflix is saying, hey, the first pitch was supposed to be at 8:05. It's 8:22. What are we doing? I mean, I don't know. Whoever timed that out did not do their job. Do you think that would go on at Progressive Field?
I don't know.
Let's just say for opening day, Cleveland Guardians and the Chicago Cubs. First pitch is at 4:10. And let's say they get everybody ready to go. It's about 3:40, and we're going to start doing the pregame announcements, the introductions of everybody on both teams. And I mean, let's just say Progressive Field, they come up and they say, let's have the Guardians come out of a giant guitar. Okay, Rock and Roll City, that thing is so played out. Oh my God, everything has to have a guitar. Let's just say it's a giant, like humongous guitar with an opening in it, and the Guardians come out.
Did you guys know that the Rock and Roll History Museum is in Ohio?
It's in Cleveland, I think, right? And everything has to do with the logo of a guitar, right?
That's the identity of the entire state of Ohio.
That's the one. Yep.
We don't also have the Football Hall of Fame.
The heart of it all, guitars. So we come out of a giant guitar down the third baseline, and there's people dancing around and gyrating and thrusting, and there's pyrotechnics going off and music, and then the Cubs get introduced. What would Chicago be famous for? Like pizza. Something you could you're not going to have people come out of a giant slice of pizza. What else could Chicago?
Are they the Windy City?
Yeah. I mean, have them come out of a wind tunnel, make a temporary wind tunnel, and have them come out and do all that stuff.
Take one of those skydiving fans, instead of pointing it up, point it out and just have them run into it.
Yeah.
And shot out of it like a cannon. That'll be cool, actually.
Just find it just kind of weird. I don't know. Speaking of Netflix, tell me you're all shocked to hear this. Netflix has just announced another price increase on all of their platforms. This is like the third or fourth price increase.
That might be it for me and Netflix.
In less than a couple of years, I believe.
Yeah. Yep.
I remember, remember when Netflix was a mail-based thing?
Oh, yeah.
Subscription?
Yep. You had DVDs in the mail.
Yeah, you had to go out to your mail. Oh, there they are. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. My mom's had Netflix since it was that.
Yeah. So and then they turned to the digital platform. Now, this, according to the story, this is from CNBC Entertainment. Netflix subscription plans have increased in price for the first time since January of 2025. That doesn't sound right, but that's what they're saying. Okay, I'll go with it. So it's been about a year. Gee, thanks for waiting a whole year before another increase. The price hike comes as Netflix has been investing, heavily in its content, including new ventures into live event space and launching video podcasts. So here you go. MLB on Netflix, NFL on Netflix, other live sporting events on Netflix. Now they are finally passing along the charges to you, the consumer. Also, extra member pricing was also increased. Let's see what this goes up here for now. Subscription tiers will rise at least $1 per tier. The companies, now they're also, I forgot about this. You used to be able to watch Netflix with no commercials. Not anymore.
Oh, yeah.
The company's ad-supported plan is now $8.99 a month, up from $7.99. The standard plan is $19.99 a month, up from $17.99. The premium plan is now $26.99, up from $24.99. Also, extra member pricing is also increased, with ad-supported plans costing $6.99 per additional non-household user, up from $5.99. The ad-free add-ons now cost $9.99. That's up from $8.99. During its January earnings report, the company said it expects to spend $20 billion in 2026 on content, up from $18 billion in 2025.
Okay, so Netflix grinds my gears. They have the audacity.
One of those boxes. Go ahead.
They have the audacity to pump out the crap that they pump out, that they have been pumping out for the past year, maybe two, maybe even 2 to 3 years. And through all that, they've given you nothing but crap, increased the price, made more stupid decisions, and spent audacious amounts of money on more stupid stuff, while at the same time raising the price.
Yeah.
So you as the consumer have achieved and gotten nothing better out of what Netflix has been doing for the past 2 years, while also paying more every couple of months.
Right. So now all those tiers went up, all the platforms went up,
and then they're gonna raise that and tell you, hey, by the way, guys, we're gonna put an extra $2 billion into all the crap that you don't watch and make more of it. I mean, seriously, name one other thing that came out from Netflix this year besides K-pop Demon Hunters.
I couldn't tell you.
No, nobody could, because that's the only thing anybody watched on Netflix. If K-pop Demon Hunters hadn't come out this year, Netflix wouldn't even be making this announcement because they wouldn't have the money to.
That's wild. Now, I have
I will stop
access to Netflix.
Me too. I pay for it. That's why I'm so mad.
I mean, there is a lot of stuff on, but there's a lot of stuff on a lot of other channels.
The problem with Netflix
and streams and stuff like that.
It pivoted to a thing where it was only going to make its own content, and that was okay for a little bit. And then everything it made after that little bit was crap, except for 1 or 2 things that were special here and there.
Yeah, you couldn't keep up with the 5-star stuff.
No,
after a couple of years, because it just. I mean, you can only come up with so much stuff.
The amount of content they were trying to pump out was just.
Well, that was another problem.
Stupid.
It was quantity.
Yes.
Over quality. That's the problem. Now, Netflix goes on to say at the time that it expected 2026 overall revenue to range between 50.7 and 51.7 billion due to increases in membership and pricing, as well as a projected rough doubling of ad revenue in 2026 compared to the prior year.
And their ads are way worse than I have a few different streaming services, and no streaming services ads get on my nerves more than Netflix.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, they're the worst for it.
So you can pay the higher price and get no ads, or you can pay the low tier and you're going to get bombarded.
Yeah, that was the stereotype when they started doing we'll have a free one with ads and you won't get that many ads. Everybody's fear was you're just going to get assaulted with ads.
Yeah.
And most of them really aren't that bad, except for Netflix.
At the time, Netflix was still poised to acquire the Warner Brothers studio and its streaming service, HBO Max. However, the company declined to match a higher bid made by Paramount back in February.
Well, that's just because Paramount went full hostile takeover on that and just threw a stupid amount of money at them.
They did. That was a wild day.
That was bad.
A lot of big transactions going on that day.
A lot of SEC violations and maybe some monopoly violations, but we're not going to talk about that.
Sam, I'm sitting in a store parking lot waiting on my wife returning something, and with some of the women's shorts I'm seeing, you would think they were getting ready to twerk.
I don't know. Was that a complaint?
Probably not.
I don't think that was a complaint.
Not until the wife comes out of the store. Then better.
Oh yeah, for her, obviously it was a complaint. But
yeah, well, apparently she's still in the store.
It was a wink. It wasn't a complaint.
Apparently she is still in the store, and he's still in the parking lot with the eyes wide open, ready for some action. 5:53 is our time. Phones are open. 330-821-1310. You can take part in the program. You can bring a little message in to us at the text line at 330-924-7088. Of course, you can drop a comment on the Q92 Radio YouTube chat. Guards in action tonight. We got college basketball tonight. We've got a plethora of entertainment this evening. We'll come back and we'll start to wrap things up. Oh, don't forget now, on a serious note, we do have a tornado watch in effect for our area until 11 o'clock tonight. We'll take a break and come back. Stay with us.
AWP Safety, North America's leading traffic safety company, wishes the best of luck to Stark County student athletes this fall, and they need you. Join AWP as a protector for steady work and an important job keeping people safe. They offer paid training, certification, referral bonuses, and advancement opportunities. To apply, visit jobs.awpsafety.com. That's jobs.awpsafety.com.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
This place has a pulse. You hear it in the canopy, feel it in the ground. Life, fully illuminated, engulfs you. From the birds singing in the treetops above to the tiniest insects in the soil below, you take a deep, cleansing breath, filling your lungs with the essence of the forest. Now, imagine it's all gone. Healthy, life-giving forests reduced to nothing. No singing birds, no lush canopy, and water and food in short supply around the world. Time is running out to protect our forests, and without our love, they can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our forests. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
Born down in a dead man's town. The first kicker took us where I hit
1310 WDPN. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, want to shout out Drew and the crew at AWP Safety. They've jumped on board with us. They were with us all high school football season here on 1310 WDPN. They were with us on our Q92 basketball coverage with Courtside with Sammy B and Lee. And now they're on the Sam Bourquin Show Monday through Friday. AWP Safety. If you're what is Area Wide Protection Agency, and there's some really cool. I got to mention they've got some great careers for you. Jobs at awpsafety.com. Jobs at awpsafety.com. If you're looking for a little career change, maybe you're just kind of in the ruts right now. You're stuck. They'll pay for your training. Bonuses, you can advance up in the company full-time. They'll take care of you. If you're looking or know somebody that's kind of looking for a new lease on life, new job, new career, new people, new relationships, AWP Safety, that you might want to check that out. Go online right now, jobs at awpsafety.com. Tell them Sammy B direct you to there. And shout out to Drew and everybody at AWP Safety. Love having you on as part of the family here. 1310 WDPN and Q92. What do we got here? I can't read that. That's funny, though. College basketball news. LSU is bringing Will Wade back, it looks like. Remember, he was at the school for 3 years, and then there was this big scandal with the program. And he was gone. They got rid of him. And then he went to McNeese State for a year, had a little success, And then he went to North Carolina State. Now, they made it into the field this year. They got beat by Texas in the first round at Dayton. But LSU then fired their coach, Matt McMahon, and it looks like Will Wade is coming back. So interesting news there out of the college basketball world. Don't forget tonight the Guardians in action against the Mariners at 10:10. Tanner Bybee on the bump. We'll talk about this tomorrow on the show. Hopefully we'll have a lot of Guardians highlights that we can play for you. We will have highlights from the college basketball games tonight. Sammy B's best bet tomorrow on this day in sports history. It'll be a fill-in-the-blank Friday, and we'll get you ready for the big weekend. So big show tomorrow, beginning at 3. Make sure you're here, AM1310 WDPN. What do you say we check out the baseball scoreboard from today? Lots of games going on right now. Bottom of the 7th inning, pitchers duel down in the Natty. Reds trailing the Red Sox 1-0. Top of the 7th, the Tigers walloping the Padres 8-1. Tarek Skubal was on the mound today for Detroit, so boy, the Padres got a good lineup, but he shut them down today so far. Angels and Astros no score in the 6th. Top of the 6th, Rays lead the Cardinals 4-1. Phillies over the Rangers 5-0 in the 6th inning. Finals from today, Paul Skeens got lit up. Mets beat the Pirates 11-7. Brewers beat the White Sox 14-2. Nationals over the Cubbies 10-4. Orioles beat the Twins 2-1. All right, thanks to Adam Jardy from the Columbus Dispatch for talking a little Buckeye hoops and Big Ten hoops today. Appreciate Adam coming on. If you missed that interview, it'll be up in podcast a little bit later on tonight on all of our social media platforms. Thanks to Ryan Rainsberg. Great job, as always, on the other side of the glass. Thanks to you for calling, emailing, texting, and commenting. We love when you interact with us here on the show Monday through Friday. Be safe tonight. Don't forget, tornado watch in effect until 11 p.m. If you have anything that needs charged, start charging it now, just in case. All right, enjoy the ball tonight. Basketball, baseball, we'll talk about it all tomorrow. And don't forget, go Cavs, go Bucks, go Browns, go Guards on opening night. We'll see you tomorrow.